Hello, hello, everybody. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Tangeray, good to see you. I want to say thank you to those who have served and to those who have fought for our country. I hate to say happy Veterans Day because it's not always happy. However, I am happy and I am thankful for the veterans who have served. We appreciate you, especially because you fight for our freedoms, our constitutional rights, things that we have fought for, and we are forever grateful. Chris, whoa, the love. Right back at you, sister. Good to see everybody. Shani Jones. Good to see you, love. Brooke, happy Armistice Day. Correct. Julia T, how you doing? J. Marie. Country Girl Ann. One Miss Rubug. Lulu. My girl, glad you're here. Oh, let's see. Neko. Woohoo. So glad to see my regulars and some new faces here. Mr. Eve only took 5 minutes late. I know. Look, as I say, if I'm not late, there's something wrong. Sarah Silva, good to see ya. Yeah, please drop a like for your girl Eve before we get started. I have been working really hard to get things together for this live. And hey, if you feel like you're being a little weaselly today, but you don't want to show up in the chats, go ahead and hit the like for your girl. Because lurkers deserve love, but so does Eve. Mr. Eve says it's been a day. Baby Eve is being a misfit, but little Eve is being a big help. Yes, his big brother is awesome. I am so proud of Eve 1.0 because Eve 2.0 is giving us a run for our money. It's always the second child that goes ham. Right? Matthew is silly AF. Good to see you. Thank you for being here as well. Nene, good to see you. One life to live. Facts. Welcome, friends, family, and haters. That's right. All right. So why are we doing this live? Why am I doing this live after I've been quiet, more quiet than usual? Well, I feel like I've always had in the back of my mind, if it came to the day where the bigger creators in the YouTube community, and I'm not talking the biggest ones, I'm talking about the middlemen. If I saw some doo-doo going on and some drama going on, especially in Michael Vaughan's case, which I have covered for a very long time now, that I would speak out on the things that were going on if it got to the point of people being so skewed on their view of Michael's case. Especially since the mother is on YouTube quite often and there's a lot of misinformation coming from what Michael's case really is based on comparing or not comparing in a sense to the Summer Wells case. As we all know, Summer Wells' case has been covered in extensive entirety, as much as it can be, which isn't much, right? That's the unfortunate thing about missing children's cases, is that there's very little to go on sometimes under suspicious circumstances, or no idea what circumstances there are. So, excuse me. What I'm trying to get at is that Michael Vaughan's coverage was stifled, good or bad, right? It was very stifled, and that was no fault of Michael Vaughan, of course. That was no fault or Summer of Summer Wells or anything else. However, on the YouTube front, I 100% hold the creators who now have some kind of a voice, who cover true crime as a on the daily, and you know who you are, and we know who they are. Now they have a voice about what they think they know or what they feel they know when they have no clue. So now that it's on everybody's mind, now that the drama has infiltrated into both Summer Wells and Michael Vaughan's case as one, which is what the mother specifically stated she didn't want to happen, has now happened. This is kind of what happens when you get infiltrated into the YouTube community and certain creators. This is what happens. And so I've always said from the beginning, everybody knows this, and if you don't, you will now, that you never, in my opinion, if you're going to cover crime, you do not get involved with the parents of a missing child, especially when there's nothing concrete or solidified, especially in the beginning, right? I can understand the parent wanting to go onto platforms to advocate and to talk about needing help and things like that. But when people around a missing child's case or family members nitpick how it should be presented, and allowing others to do some of the most horrific bullying, cyberbullying that they're advocating for to stop. It's really just in my soul an injustice, right? And hypocritical at the same time. And then to also bring in the noise and the fodder and the fighting does nothing for Michael Vaughan or Summer Wells. And the creators have had a huge part in that. A huge part in that, especially recently. It's amazing to me how many times I'll go and look at comments about the drama going on and see to this day the misinformation and the misunderstandings of Michael Vaughan's case. And I'm going to have some examples today. I'm going to have a lot of examples and a lot of discrepancies that it's not my job, nor is it my want to change your mind about a single thing regarding Michael Vaughan's case. I just want to inform, but I also want you to understand what I believe is the true reason why the parent of Michael Vaughan is being used and abused, even though it's being allowed and wanted and provoked. It does nothing for Michael, and it actually does nothing for Summer. It does nothing for the case. It was strategically put in front of your eyes to fight and to be used, more so for Summer, to continue the drama with Summer, because that keeps things alive. That keeps these channels and these creators alive, because there's really not much else to go on, is there? So you might disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. But that's just how I feel. So, having said that, I'm going to get into a lot of stuff today. You might not have all the time in the world, but I have at least a little bit of time that Mr. Eve has graciously given me. He knows that when things change in the Michael Vaughan case or things are happening, he knows that it's go time for me. And he gives me that grace, even though it's Veterans Day and he has served in the military, in the Army. I'm so proud of you, Mr. Eve, and thank you for giving me this time. And sorry it was in not the best timing, but you're great and we all love you for it. So thank you, Mr. Eve. Everybody, please put green hearts in the chat for not only him serving his country, but being an awesome father and husband. Is that, you don't get that. You don't see that a lot, do you? Sorry, y'all. Sorry, y'all, about that. My voice mod thing is going crazy. Anyway, you're welcome, Mr. Eve. Green hearts. Y'all are wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. So let me go into chat real quick before we dive in, because you know me, I'll rant and rave, but I got to take a break in between. Nene says, I was biting my tongue so hard last night. Yeah, there is somebody out there that comments on my stuff a lot, that agrees with some of the things that I say and feel, which we all know is very controversial with Michael Vaughan's case. And the amazing amount of backlash that person got just for saying, y'all don't know anything y'all are talking about. You do not understand why this is happening, why this was said, why this is being looked at a certain way. Because it's very easy to say, she's bashing, they're bashing, he's bashing, the panel's bashing. It's because of this person versus that parent is why it's okay. And it's okay to feel that way. I'm just looking at it from when you take your fifis out of it. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I've been saying that for years, and I don't care who else has said it. I'm going to say it. When you take your feelings out of it and you look at it from a logical perspective and not the dramatics and the theatrics that goes on, so that these other creators can piggyback off of Brandi while stifling Michael to uplift Summer's drama with their parents, you are no better than what you were sitting there and complaining about. You are no better. I don't care who you are, how many followers you have, how many subscribers you have. I don't care what you have done, what you haven't done. You are just as bad. You're also just as guilty for covering it in the name of stop cyberbullying when turning around and cyberbullying. Now, unfortunately, that puts me in a very odd predicament because now I have to cover it to make a point. And I don't want to cover some of the crap that we have all been seeing in the last month. I don't want to. But it seems to be the reoccurring theme. And so if you're gonna listen to it, well, damn it, you're also going to look at it from a different point of view with receipts that I will bring to you. And you can make your own decision on if you still think the same way or feel the same way. If you do, great. If you don't, wonderful. But just remember, on this channel, it is always and always will be getting justice and getting the truth out with the receipts that I can, and then also comment on the speculation of it as best as I can. I will provide that. because these are children. These are children we're speaking on. Sometimes I do, and this might be my fault, but sometimes I do split between the child missing and the parents. They all go into their little box. They don't intermingle. And the reason why they don't intermingle is because that's where you lose sight and lose focus, in my opinion. I like truth and receipts too, Cursed. I do. Now, have I been the best about going after it in the most candid way or with grace? No. I'll admit that. I have made mistakes and I have been cruel or retaliatory because I've been hurt by those who want to stifle what I'm covering. I get very offensive when people try to take away your First Amendment right. Okay, I am. And my husband served for us to have that right. So I'm really hot and heavy about it. You like recipes? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So getting off of that, I unfortunately have to cover the crap that I have been trying to avoid this whole time and have taken a step back because everybody was like, you're bashing. How horrible are you? When they don't really know. They really, even though I've put it out there so many times, people do not know because they just refuse to open their eyes and open their minds and listen to another perspective when their feelings are so deeply rooted in whatever it is that they feel, which again is okay. Just be open about it. That's all I ask. I mean, no disrespect while I'm doing this. Covering these things, I mean no harm. Again, you're your own free thinker, but don't get trapped. Just because the masses is jumping on the bandwagon doesn't mean it's always necessarily the right thing, right? They just don't get it. Yeah. Well, that's okay. Mrs. Peacock says, I feel like I don't know enough about this case. How many times have I heard that? And I'm not slighting you, Mrs. Peacock. So you don't feel like you know enough about the case to have a real opinion. It confuses me because I have not followed this case as much as others. I need to, though. And a lot of people do. A lot of people do. You know, it's interesting. I've tried it the nice way, the not so nice way, the shocking way, boring way. I have tried to spin this coverage as much as I can while battling war zones with people around the case and creators around Summer's case who have a lot of following and a lot of pull in the community. It's not easy. And then when the threats start happening and the battles get real life personal, Daisy, you don't know a damn thing about real life, going real life. You don't. A lot of these creators don't know. They're actually kind of spoiled rotten brats that need to take it down a few notches. Then you have the other creators, Sniff, who wants to now use the information that has been out there that I have covered over and over and over again to now have a care in the world about Michael Vaughan's case. No, it's to profit off of the drama that you're seeing going down, which is bullshit. And I'm watching. That will not fly. Absolutely not. Go ahead and kiss that shit goodbye. You will not do it. So, having said that, we're really going to start this time. And it's going to piss some people off. It is. And again, I don't mean it to be. I promise you that. The first thing that I do want to say, and it's kind of shocking, you're going to be like, holy moly, what in the world is going on? It's a big deal. So hold on to your butt cheeks. Everybody got your butt cheeks clenched? Don't let it fall off, because it's a big one. I'm going to set this as my background in honor of Monkey, of Michael Vaughan, MJ. I'm going to call him MJ. And the reason why I'm going to call him MJ is because everybody that was around Michael outside of the immediate family said that that was his name. That was his nickname. And they only heard about Monkey very recently after he disappeared. So I'm going to call him MJ. All right. Oh, well, that didn't work out, did it? Hold on. We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it with that. That's okay. I don't have time to mess with it. So anyway, MJ, as you all know, went missing July 27, 2021, allegedly from 6:40 to 7 p.m. He was last seen around his home on the corner of Southwest 9th in Arizona. There have been suspects named, 4 of them to be exact. We have not gotten updates on as to if they are still suspects. The last time that JD Huff came out through media was that they were. But lately it has not come out that they still are or not, but that the probable cause and all of the case information has been sent to the prosecuting attorney's office in Payette County, Idaho. Prosecutor Mike Duke. The only charge that was ever brought against someone regarding Michael Vaughan's alleged abduction was already dropped. It was against Sarah Wondra in November of 2022 due to the information that she gave during the search warrant that day, which was God told her she knew who did it and why. They did not find Michael Vaughan's remains in that backyard at 1102 Red Wing Street, which is the neighborhood across from Monkey's home. It's about a 4-minute walk, a minute drive. It's in a subdivision. And that's really all that we know, besides the fact that the county clerk and the prosecuting attorney's office has been told, do not talk about this case in any shape or form. I have been told that myself during a phone call that was very, very brief. Do not talk about any kind of jury scheduling for not only grand jury, but just juries in general. We're not going there. We cannot talk about anything related to that case. That has been said to me and others. Argus Observer, KTVB. Which tells me that there's some movement in the case. Sometimes when it's dead silent, it means that there is a lot going on. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to tell everybody, because it is already making its rounds, it has been known by people around Brandi Neal. I don't know if she knows this or not, but I assume that if people around her know, that she probably knows. I don't know. I am not the one pulling a Bullhorn Betty here in breaking news. This is not breaking news. It's on Twitter, where Michael Vaughan's case originally started off on. But I just wanted to let you know 2 things that are very important. Stacey James Wondra, who is one of the 4 suspects named, has been released by court order and is out of custody. He is not in another facility. He is, in fact, free. Not retained in any way. I called the Ada County Sheriff's Office. They spoke and said that they do not see another facility where he was sent to, because I thought, well, maybe he's in a U.S. Marshal's custody. Maybe he's in, I was hoping he was still detained in some way. But he is not, to my knowledge. So I told them, I asked them, and I said, well, okay, it says here, released by court order, out of custody. And the person that spoke with me said, if there is no other facility saying that they're holding this person, more than likely he is free. And in fact, he is. So he's out and about. Now, what has been going on in crimes, lies, and lines recently, especially in the last, 4 months or so, even more, it's been go after, hardcore in the paint, Brandon, Shirtliff, the other suspect, Adrian Lucene, and everybody he knows. Get the word out there. Go after them. Call law enforcement if you see them, which is not what J.D. Huff said. J.D. Huff has spoken to Adrian Lucene and Brandon Shirtliff. People have reached out to Brandon Shirtliff's mother. JLR reached out to Adrian Lucene's father, who had no idea what was going on, by the way. He was just as flabbergasted as anybody else. Tina, Brandon's mother, has stated that he has been working with law enforcement this entire time, which it doesn't matter if that's true or not, because we don't know that yet. We don't know. That's just what was said. But this is a big deal to me. For someone to be a suspect in a case of a missing child who J.D. Huff himself has said that they believe he is deceased and that his remains were in his backyard, in his wife's backyard. Why would they release him out of custody? We all know damn well that if they really wanted to, they could figure it out and charge him with something, some cockamamie thing. I don't know. And maybe they're working on it and they had a glitch. I don't know. But I think that if they really wanted him in there, they would. This is huge. This is extremely huge. Huge. And the reason why is because I have been saying over and over and over, when J.D. Huff said, we have enough evidence to arrest Stacey Wondra right now, y'all better start talking. I truly believe, and look, the police can lie to you. You know, we all know this. They are not held to a standard of being truthful 100% of the time. They can lie right to your face on a conference with 100 cameras. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. That's right, he is. So it could have been a tactic, an investigative tactic that backfired, maybe, or it didn't, and it did bear fruit. It yielded, as J.D. Huff likes. He likes to use that word. It didn't yield, or it did yield. I don't know where he is. I don't know if, I highly doubt that he went back to 1102 Red Wing, but here is my call out, because it's going to happen more than likely with people around advocating for Michael Vaughan and his family more so. Sometimes it feels like. Do not go after this person. Do not go after Stacey Wondra. Do not. You could talk whatever kind of smack you want to. It's your right. But do not tell people to go after him. First of all, you could be putting yourself in danger. Secondly, you're not law enforcement and they haven't told you to do so. And thirdly, I have no idea where he is, but it really isn't our concern to find him. And harass him. It is not going to do a bit of good. Because I have heard it myself from the mother stating, go after these people. You know what you got to do. go at him hard in the paint. And every creator was like, let's do it. Especially Brooke from Crime, Lines and Lies. And Perp. She goes, we have work to do. You heard her. We have work to do. And that is not how you go about helping the police. The police did not say do that. All right. So what about Sarah, his wife, or soon to be ex-wife? I'm not really sure what's going on there. So she also, I know it's on November 11th. Okay. I know this. Vinelink.com and iDoc, which is iDoc, is screwy at best. It is not the perfect system. There's some shit wrong with it. So I don't know why we're a day ahead on a book date, but Sarah Wondra was in custody here on November 7th at the Payette County Sheriff's Office, which is the jail, Payette County Jail. She was transferred to another facility. The book date says November 12th at 1:37 a.m. It's screwy, okay? I don't know. We'll assume that they meant the 11th. Let's just say that. I don't know what facility this is. I don't know what happened. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. And nobody needs to go after looking, because it should be updated if they want you to know. Okay. Angel Talks Too Fast says, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding the other day. No, absolutely no apologies needed. I sincerely wanted to ask what was going on with because I was told to can it on that stuff. And then it was being brought up. And I do try to help limit the drama that some would say I caused by releasing said information about polygraphs. I released that information out. So, it was very like, oh God, here we go again. I'm about to get crucified again and bullied again and threatened again. So that was why, and you didn't know that. But of course, Callie Dime wanted to show her ass. And that's between me and her, not you, Angel. You're great. You're fine. But she's always on the attack mode. So it is what it is. I'm going to check chat, because I know everybody's like, holy moly, what does this mean? Let's see. I'm glad y'all are talking in chat while I'm rambling. I appreciate it. Huge breakthrough. Why Crime says that's true. Definitely can lie. The police. And do use that to their advantage to trip suspects up. Correct. They can even interrogate you without really actually having diddly squat to see where you go, to see what's going on. And I think that that's what they were trying to do when allegedly Chris Madonna from the Cold Case Foundation went up and talked to Brandon and some detectives, I believe. I don't know who and all that stuff, but I believe it was him, Chris Madonna, to go up there and talk to him. Look, Brandon Shirtliff, and I'm talking about Brandon Shirtliff. Brandon Shirtliff has a warrant out for his arrest in Payette County. I'm sure from the things that I have seen in my courts in Idaho, you could finagle your way into getting somebody extradited. I'm sure there is a way if you really wanted to. But I digress. That's speculation there. I don't know that for a fact. Yeah, much love to you, Angel. And no disrespect if you hear anything going forward. There is no disrespect to you or your channel at all. Yeah, she was. And that's okay. Mrs. Peacock says, Eve, do you think it's possible that there was a false confession or a false tip with Sarah Wondra, her husband, Stacey? Yes, I do think that it could be possible. Or there was something said, whether it be in writing or to another inmate potentially, whatever the case may be. Or somebody living there that actually wasn't Stacey Wondra. There was so many people going in and out of that damn house, which was disgusting to me. Like, I can't believe how many people were in and out of that house. In my opinion, there were some drug informants that were in and out of that house. The reason Sarah Wondra is the reason why she's in jail, first of all. I want to clarify this before I continue. Secondly, the other reason why Sarah Wondra is in jail is because there was a fight that she took way too far, obviously. She shouldn't have had a gun because she's a felon. That's against the rules. And she pointed it at somebody because she wanted them to get out of her house because he was being a drunk asshole. I'll say it. And threw a dog bone, hit him. He cried to his mama, and then called the cops and was like, not only did she assault me with this gun, but here's what she did with it, and here's the holster and all this good stuff. I mean, boy, he was ready to just nail them. So I don't know what he said to her, but boy, she was mad. But yes, a dog bone was thrown and smacked him in the head. And he said, ow, look at the scratching behind my ear. It's assault. And she damn sure did get a assault and battery charge that was dropped and then refiled again this year to keep her and to prosecute her. And I'm assuming that's because they wanted her in jail, especially the victim, because they have rights. As much as I don't like what I see went down, Tanner has rights. With his dog bone looking ass, he has rights. And if he feels that he was battered, she pled guilty, so it is what it is. But Stacey Wondra was also serving time for the same gun issue, in May of 2022 got caught selling this rifle to a gun shop, and he knows damn well he's not supposed to do that because he's a felon. Not good, not, amazing pillars of the community. I will say that, right? It's the truth. Dog bone looking at. I will say it. Because I think that whole situation was bananas and it didn't need to happen. But here we are. Maybe this was the universe's way of making it all happen for Michael. I don't know. Kind of odd, but okay. If we can have a laugh about this, I guess there's some reprieve. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about Stacey being out? It's very, it's scary for me because we don't know what's going on. We just don't know. Now on to the next. I literally have a list here to keep myself as best as I can on track, okay? I'm one of those old-fashioned make a list and check it off. She's making a list. She's checking it twice. Okay, she's got ADHD and boy, this is nice. Yeah, I'm lame. If you didn't know, I'm pretty lame. So, how did Daisy and the Daisy drama start with Brandi Neal and Don Wells, and then just Daisy and Brandi? And then why are we here now? Right? Well, I'll tell you, in my opinion, why. Yeah, the song needs work. Yeah. Well, maybe you can help me, Brooke. Sort of like what they're doing to Richard Allen. Yeah, maybe. Ooh, I'm behind on that. I'm up to date, but kind of behind on the background stuff. So I can't speak on it, but it sounds wild. I hope it gets stuck in all y'all's head. Okay? That bad song. So why are we here with Daisy and the Brandi situation? Now, over and over and over, I have seen nothing but support and love for Brandi, which I totally understand. You go support however you feel about whatever you feel. Do it as long as you're informed. As long as you're informed. And I'm also going to kind of give myself a little bit of a... I'm going to give myself time to express how I disagree. And you can take it and leave it, or take it and like it. I don't care. But I feel like it's important because maybe, just maybe, you might feel the same way out there. There's some people that are sitting on their hands going, God, this is ridiculous. There's some people out there that are messaging me saying, "Are you hearing this? Are you going to go live? Are you going to say something? I know you feel differently." And I'm like, "Nope, nope, nope." And then finally I had it. I had it when I saw that Stacey was out. It's like, okay, we have got to move past this drama, but express why it's important. Blah, 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 blah. So we all know that Brandi originally went on, I believe, the Labs live. I'm going to go back a few months, okay? Went on a live with the Lab when Don was on panel, and she pleaded with Don to let the Cold Case Foundation help. She knows that he has reservations about all the things that Chris McDonough and him have gone through and the Lab, but just hear them out. It's about Summer. And I thought that was cool. Cool, 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 cool. There ain't no way in hell. There ain't no way in hell. But I get it. It's worth a shot. I guess. Nene says you're not allowed to have alternate feelings in this case. Right, but I do anyway. I guess I'm an outlaw, a rebel. Hi, Juniper's Tarot. Lovely to see you, hun. And here's a perfect example, by the way. Juniper's Tarot is 100% supportive of the Vaughan family and Brandi and Michael's case, and has worked on in her own way on the case and how she feels about it. And we're in chat together. How wonderful is that? How wonderful is that? And I appreciate people like Juniper and others who can still come in here and be cordial with me and say hello. Like Why Crime, for instance. Lovely. Those are the creators I want in my chat. Will Toletta says, RA in prison has lost so much weight. Richard Allen, he is not doing well, innocent until proven guilty. And the defense team are rock stars. Wow. I gotta catch up. Hey, Whistle, while you lurk. Juniper is 100% for the family, and that's great. So I'm going to pull up a clip about that. And I support Brandi doing this. I do. Now, did it cause some chaos with me in the lab? Yeah, but that's not her fault.
Almost 2 years now, since Summer was reported missing by her parents. She vanished, allegedly from her home in Rogersville, Tennessee. The public want answers for Summer, and I see the passion in the faces of strangers who desperately want Summer found, and justice to be served for her. Any help will do, in my opinion. The more the merrier. Don't you agree?
Talk to Candace and consider.
Now, I'm not an expert on covering content that's already been established. But I know that you need to kind of pause and do some commentary. So that's what I'm going to do. If you have any suggestions, just let me know.
Consider the offer of help from the Cold Case Foundation. I believe we now have our answer from Don and Candace. And that will be that's a no-go.
Sadly, her parents have said no to help from the Cold Case Foundation. The organization offered their services to assist in finding Summer. I was very disheartened to hear that. Ask yourself this: why would a parent of a missing child say no to help? The help doesn't cost a dime, so money's not an excuse here. The Cold Case Foundation is a big organization. I'm sure they have good resources, so why say no? Even Brandi Neal, mother of missing Michael Vaughan, is struggling to process their reasoning. She went on the lab yesterday and spoke to Dawn Wells herself. My heart went out to her. She was at work, but wanted to talk to Don to tell him to consider the help, and that the Cold Case Foundation is just as respectable as the FBI.
I'm sure that's true. The Cold Case Foundation has done some great things, and they have a lot of experts excluding Chris Medina for a second, it's not just about Chris Medina. There's a lot of professionals that volunteer their time through the Cold Case Foundation, and they're picking up steam from the looks of it. I looked at their financial statements, and as an accountant, I will say officially they are growing and doing well. So I do think it's a great place outside of Chris Medina too. So let's skip on to where Brandi reaches out to Don originally. Let's go.
My heart went out to her. She was at work, but wanted to talk to Don to tell him to consider the help, and that the Cold Case Foundation is just as respectable as the FBI.
Have you met Brandi, Neil?
No, I haven't.
She has a missing
Mr.
child.
Wells,
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
can you hear me?
Yep.
Mr. Wells, my name is
Yep.
Brandi Neal. I
Good
am
to meet
Michael Joseph Vaughan's mama.
Oh, okay. We tried to get a hold of you before, but people kept us from talking to you. They didn't want us talking to you. Well, through some certain YouTube, they would not let us get in touch with you.
Sir, I understand your feelings about all of.
You know what? I just actually listened to Don for the first time. It's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to get through all that spackle. Spackle business. But let me listen to that one more again.
From certain YouTube, they would not let us get in touch with you.
Sir, I understand your feelings about all of the YouTubers and everything. I just came outside for a quick break. I'm at work right now. So,
I feel sorry
sure.
for you. We prayed for you. Because I know what you've been going through too. But
One statement that really stood out to me is when Brandi Neal said, "Your beautiful daughter deserves the help." I totally agree with her. Who cares about their reservations with Chris McDonough? It's not about them. As hard as those answers may be, they're still getting the answers.
Mr. Wells,
yeah,
your beautiful daughter,
yeah, I know.
she deserves the help. And I know, I understand your feelings on YouTubers. Our family has been through the ringer as well, sir.
Right. Oh, I know you have.
And
I'll admit it has not been easy, I'm sure.
I understand what you and Candace have been going through. I get it. I will tell you that the Cold Case Foundation, they are just as respectable as the FBI, sir.
Okay. Well,
They have been very, very helpful, and I understand your reservations with Mr. McDonough, and that's all of what you guys have gone through and everything. Whatever. My personal feelings with the Cold Case Foundation, with our law enforcement, and the FBI, the Idaho State Police. Right. They have been helpful, sir.
Okay.
I promise you. Right. I Monkey has been missing 641 days.
All right. So right there, she is pleading for Don to work with the Cold Case Foundation. Brandi knows, and everybody should know by now, that the Cold Case Foundation stepped in to help with Michael Vaughan's case. Chris McDonough was actually interviewing neighbors. Then I believe Carson Starkey, that the neighbor across from 1102 Red Wing, knocked on his door, asked him some questions. He admitted that in a JLR interview. So when she says, Michael's been missing for some odd days, she's very good about that, to make sure that she remembers how many days he's been missing. That would be very hard for probably a lot of people. Maybe not others, but some, like Don. Don probably would never think to count the days. He doesn't even know the birthday of Summer Wells. Remember the whole Molly Go Lightly thing. I digress. In my opinion, the amount of times I hear the number of days Michael Vaughan has been missing, as much as I appreciate and get that, as a mother, she can do whatever she wants. And she has every right to say whatever she wants on this. But I just feel like it's a little much. And the reason why I say that is because it's going to come back around here. It's going to come back around to Daisy and Dawn's next conversation. It is important to just remember. That's all.
Yeah. And we're getting answers as horrible as they are and as slow as they're coming. We're getting answers. Right. So please, you and Miss Candace, please consider. We will consider it. Consider, and all you have to do is talk to the TBI and talk to Hawkins County, correct?
Well, we can talk to them, see what they say about it, and see if they want their help or whatever. That's no problem. But I mean,
I wouldn't leave their door, sir. And my personal opinion, I would not leave their door. If I could find every possible way. I've been down the private investigator avenue as well. Our family has. We've done many private investigations and worked with law enforcement alongside of it. So
I get it. We're trying everything we can. We're doing what we can. I'm very limited is what I can do. I have to work for a living.
They don't charge a damn dime, sir. Not a dime. They, with your permission.
So let me just finish this.
And you asking for the Cold Case Foundation, and no, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a cold case.
So, yeah, we'll leave it there. But she's pleading for Cold Case Foundation to help. Of course, Don Wells would never, especially after lately with the Utah investigation, which he deserves every bit of that, every bit of it. And I hope they do something with that, because he does deserve, Mary and Jeannie deserve, and the other victim deserve justice in their way. Period. So anyway, getting back to this, please go like at least this video. I will put the link in the chat, or at least go to Evil Exists if you haven't already. I'm sure everybody has already subbed up to Evil Exists, but if you haven't, please go do that. If Ahmad could put Evil Exists channel in the chat. So that's where it begins. That's where it actually begins. Not the next one. Not the new drama. It starts here. Now, a lot of people were going after, and I did not do this, but a lot of people were saying, oh, nice, the lab. You went and convinced Brandi to reach out and speak on behalf of Chris McDonough because Don's not listening or something. The lab said something, and I damn sure didn't do that or say that. I never said that. That must have been somebody else. But what I did say was, okay, why? I understand what was trying to be done here. I do. However, why now? Why at this point? Why at this period when you know damn well how you feel about Don Wells? And I knew better. I knew how she really felt, Brandi Neal felt about those parents. But it doesn't matter, because Summer Wells matters. I just don't know why the pleading and the begging on behalf of the Cold Case Foundation now, knowing Don wouldn't and Candace wouldn't. If the Cold Case Foundation wants to work with law enforcement, I'm sure they would be more than happy to give them a call. But this was specifically and strategically, in my opinion only, to be like, come on, Don, maybe I can do it. Maybe I can be the one to convince Don to get the help for the Cold Case Foundation, because he's doing it for my son. He could do it for yours. And honestly, at the end of the day, as much as I appreciate it, and everybody does, everybody appreciates it. it tends to come back around and get thrown in the face of Don, which he deserves it all. I'm just saying. It gets thrown right back in his face when the drama hits again. See the perpetuation. So I don't feel like the lab or Chris McDonough was in Brandi Neal's ear, but I do feel like creators in general are all the time. I know they are. I see it all the time. And it's her choice to allow it or not. But she adamantly says in chats all the time, and she said it in her own on Crime Lines and Lies. If you go and look at the shorts, she made a pleading for Daisy to basically not strike her Brooke Crime Lines because of content used of Brandi going on panel with Don and so you know what I'm saying? Like that is using her, in my opinion. That is straight up using her, Brandi. When she has a lot of things that she needs to worry about, in my opinion, only focus one child at a time here, you know? And I just do feel like it was kind of like pushed on her in some way, or maybe a birdie with the wordy told her, maybe this is something you could, or I could be wrong. I just feel like it's a little weird and the timing was weird. Candace allegedly has Summer's B-Day tattooed on her leg, but she couldn't remember her B-Day. Yeah. I have no idea, but that's crazy. For sure. For sure. I know she can. She could speak for herself and think for herself. I know that. We all know that. And that's not what I was trying to say at all. But what I'm saying is, think about these things for the next drama that ensues. That's all I'm saying. Just trying to keep everybody's perspective alive, right? That's all. So she does that. That was the first conversation because people forget about that one. Now we're going to go into the latest, or the next time rather, that she goes on panel. So let me pull that up real quick. And if Daisy wants to throw shade my way by covering this, it is what it is. I can't help that this is, I kind of have to though. Like if she strikes me, she strikes me, but I have to use it because I have to make a point. And I do believe that Daisy and Brandi have talked and worked it out, but you got to just keep rehashing. You got to keep rehashing and rehashing the drama because if you don't, views go down, money goes down. And I'm not hating on if make your money. I don't like that you're doing it in this way at all. At all. And I'm going to tell you about it. Bye-bye, Jam 420. You do not have to announce your departure, sweetheart. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. So, as we know, Daisy, Dawn, Brandi, they speak. Drama ensues. Then they go back up and talk. Drama ensues. Da-da-da-da-da. Ross, rinse, repeat. Then Brooke from Crimes, Lines and Lies rehashes it again. Recently, knowing the drama between, I don't care. I don't like either of these creators, Daisy or Brooke. I don't care. It's not about the creator and what they've done. It's about what they're doing in this instance. I could care less about the other shit. They're tragedy pimping. Listen to me. You want to talk about tragedy pimping, in my opinion. They are tragedy pimping out Michael Vaughan's case through Brandi Neal, and Brandi's allowing it by rehashing this stuff when they could have spent their time going through details that mattered about Michael. And everybody who replayed and replayed and replayed and replayed that and then put Summer Wells in the mix of it, shame on you. Shame on you. There are some creators that just covered it to get the information out there. I'm not slighting y'all. I'm slighting the ones that are bullying while crying foul. I'm being bullied while bullying the shit out of people. You know, I was staying quiet, but when this stuff happens, all of a sudden I get this influx of hate out of nowhere. I was minding my business on Matthew's Is Silly AF. Speaking on, he was just interviewing me. We didn't even have any kind of interview questions lined out. He just wanted to know what I was about because he heard some things. So I was like, might as well. And people just come in the chat. Don't give her the time of day. She's XYZ. And I haven't said a damn thing in months. So that's why I'm back. So again, Brooke, Daisy, drama. I'm going to tell you, I do not agree that Brooke is covering this. See, Brooke made Brandi believe that because it was about her on the panel, that it was her content, that it was Brandi's content, and that she gets to dictate who gets to use it and when and why and where. And that's just not how it works. Now, Angel Talks Too Fast covered the information about who has the rights to broadcast whose stuff, and I really don't know the intricacies. I don't know, but she did cover it, so it might be wise to check her out and see what you think. But what I know to be true is that at the end of the day, if it's your content, no matter if it was replayed 3 times by 3 different people, or 3 different people, or you're covering 3 different people's versions, it's still originally the content that they are covering. That is who owns the rights to tell you to either take the shit down or you're good. It's really simple. So I went to YouTube communities and guidelines, and that's exactly what it said. If it is not your original content, and you're not authorized to use it, right? I know that we have rights to review and all that stuff. Blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are at risk for getting stricken if you're making money and monetizing the video. You have a risk. Whether it works out or not is different, right? But there was a risk. I don't feel like you should be putting out a private video. Somebody privated it, right? And they say, do not do this. Then don't do it out of respect. Okay? If Daisy were to come over here and say, take the shit down right now, or I'm going to clickety clack you or whatever, I'd be like, first, ma'am, watch yourself. But secondly, you got it. It's just the respectful thing to do. Now, I hope she doesn't, because I really need this shit to make a point. But that's just my understanding. If it's somebody else's original content that they played, it doesn't matter how many times it's been replayed, it's still their original. All right? I could be wrong on some legality shit, but at the end of the day, it's Daisy's. It is. And it's very hard for me to take up for Daisy, so okay.
Times do I have clips of people saying that you put them?
She scared me.
Understand too. Is it breaks my heart.
So let me find, if I can, the original. I don't know if it's in this live. Is it this one with Don Wells? Hold on. Excuse me. All right. Let's listen.
Well, we all need to take a deep breath.
Hang on.
And
I'm gonna show you all.
let's
That's okay, Don. I won't bring it up. I'm trying to keep it neutral too. I don't think he will.
It ain't. But I don't know. What haven't we talked about? We talked about summer, missing kids.
Tracy, please be respectful. And it is about them screaming me because they're taking my content. And granted, I've seen Brandi before this I'd seen her in Chris McDonough's chat. I've seen her in the labs. I've seen her in all these other chats. talking about Don and Candace, which I don't think is right that she's talking about them. And the thing, even Candace has heard her say stuff, and Candace said it hurts her feelings because she would never do her that way. And I knew this when she came up on panel. Right. If people were streaming you and taking your content, it would be.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, no doubt.
Brandi, no doubt.
Right. Don't let them.
Okay.
Business.
So of course, I'm sure everybody has seen this, but I want you to listen to something. So Brandi comes up, and what does she start out with?
Don't let them get to you, Daisy.
My sister's talking about me the other day. I've been nothing but respectful to you. So don't come in here trying to stir up trouble. Hang on. I know she's friends with you all, but she was talking badly about me on my sister's panel.
Let's see.
I'm done with it. I'm not playing with people anymore. Goodbye. Brandi, it is Brandi now. This is Monkey Vaughn's mom up here, Don.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Brandi,
doing?
There you go.
Brandi, long time no talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing?
Mm-hmm. I'm doing.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Totally understand.
Now, I don't know what prompted. I sincerely do not know what prompted this. I don't know what other chats Brandi was in that Daisy talked about. I have no clue because I sincerely do not stalk this woman like people think. I really don't. I get told. I really do. But I want to know what triggered the questions against Don. That's all. So again, this is the next live after the one I showed you. This is what followed.
Can I ask you a couple of questions, sir?
Yes, of course. But
okay.
Go for it. I always ask.
Could you tell me some of Summer's favorite foods?
Okay, honest question. Cool. Maybe she's curious about Summer's favorite foods. I'm pretty sure it's been covered a few times in multiple different ways, which was what? Pizza. Now, some people went, oh, that's cute, typical. But I believe that was Michael Vaughn's favorite from what I've heard. And then others was like, how dare she say, what was it, Little Caesars pizza? Because that's all they ate. They never got any nutrition. Because, everything has to be turned into dramatics, right? And it's probably true, though. Obviously, those kids, specifically Summer, wasn't getting the nutrients she needed, right? But I think it was unnecessary to go there. But I digress.
Why?
I've been asked this question before.
Why is she asking this question again?
She pretty much, as far as I know, I work 7 days a week.
And he does.
When I come home, I pull up the driveway. Summer was usually waiting for me, and she'd come run up to the truck and her happy little jumping around joyful way, and Daddy, did you bring me candy? Because I'd always bring her candy.
Which is 100% normal. I know it's Dawn, so everyone's like, did she run up to you and you smacked her? Dawn, did you smack her? Did you not give her the candy? Did you taunt her with it? Of course it's going to be dramatics. And look, I do not support Don Wells. Matter of fact, I'm waiting for the handcuffs, clank, clank, anytime. Please be aware. I do not support Don and Candace Wells. Or Daisy as a creator. I don't go over there in her chats. But we got to be fair about this, folks. This is where it started.
And I'd let her divvy it up with the boys. And stuff. Yeah, but
no. I put it blocked. Tell her I'll put it up later.
She's putting it back up.
I just blocked the people from me.
Candace just got blocked.
No, tell her I didn't block her. I just blocked them. I'll put it back up.
But anyways, so.
Did she like gummy candies or anything?
Oh yeah, of course, the kids love all the
gummy candies.
Energy, little bumble.
That's a that is a very specific question. I'm just gonna spit it out. It might sound like I'm reaching, and I could be. So this is just me. Why that one? Gummy candies. It's very giving or alluding to the fact of gummies. right? Could be wrong.
Oh,
Or whatever. I mean, they, of course, you know, I
and
mean,
Summer is a bumblebee all over the
right,
place.
of course, bouncing around. All our kids were, you know. But I'd stop at the store and spend $100 every day before I come home from work. You know, just to keep everything fridge loaded up for the kids. You know, but I don't think it mattered much. Whatever you could, I don't think.
Yeah,
You know,
just something,
specific
a
favorites
treat,
or
right?
yeah.
Something,
You know.
a present, always a present. Does she like any bedtime stories?
Okay. Now this is where I went, okay, okay. Where are we going? This is Dawn Wells. This isn't Candace you're asking, which she should know these things more so than Dawn, but Dawn should also. What are we getting at? Why are you asking these questions and what's being instigated? Because I'm pretty sure if that needed to be known or that was relevant in any way, shape, or form to bring her home, it would have been talked about already. So I just don't understand. This is where I was like, okay, all right. Where are we going with this? And then you'll find out.
I mean, she reminds me a lot of Monkey with the energy that I've seen.
Normally, she would. I mean, she would just wear herself out, and then.
Okay, so she's trying to find some commonality between the kids. Okay.
She'd say, "Dad, I'm tired. Will you put me to bed downstairs?" And so I'd go downstairs with her. You know, of course, you know everybody's heard the garbage, but I always wanted to make sure the kids were clean because you know how messy kids get, and they don't mean to, but they're into everything and they get messy. So I've always want to make sure the kids are clean. Anyways, I won't get into that.
I know. I have a pink painted husky right now.
Right. But she would always, you know, when she got tired, I'd take her downstairs and I'd make sure she's covered up and snug.
Oh,
So Dawn's opening up and talking to Brandi and speaking on Summer. And, you know, I applaud her for getting that information out because it's really good to hear about Summer outside of just being missing and being potentially harmed and not around. All the negative stuff. It's kind of nice. So I appreciated the questions, but the why.
Tucked in real good and I'd tell her I loved her and I'd sit there with her for a little bit till she went to sleep and then I'd go back upstairs or whatever and do, you know, because I wasn't, but she wanted me to put her to bed every night pretty much.
Sir, can I ask you how many days she's been missing?
Okay, here we go. In my experience with reviewing what I have come across, if you will, that was very important. The knowing the number of days, because there was one time that there was a boofing, if you will, of the number of days at the 1 year. And Twitter, as hateful as this was, and I did not agree with it nor care, because in my opinion, I get what I ate for breakfast wrong after eating it. Okay. So I have ADHD. There's some things I just cannot. I'm not linear, as you know. I have a hard time getting through these lives. But Twitter had a field day. And some other people had a field day with, you don't even know the number of days your child is missing. And went against Brandi for that. So it was very important after that. And I know Julia T in the chat knows what I'm talking about because you were, I think, around during that time. That really was very hurtful. It was very hurtful to her. And I understand that. Okay. So she never forgot how many days after that. Obviously. So I wanted everybody to know that. I think it's important to know that the background context as to why it's so important that she feels Dawn needs to. Because Dawn don't know shit. So I guess Brandi could relate in a sense. Every once in a while you boof it as a parent. You can't remember every single thing. But if she can overcome it, damn it, Dawn, you can too.
I haven't added the days up, but I know it's been 2 years, June 15th, and here it is September 14th. So I mean, I haven't added the days up. I don't know exactly how many days now.
Do you know her favorite color?
I believe it's purple.
Purple.
Is that right?
Mine too.
She likes Paw Patrol, right?
Yeah, Chase was her favorite. The little police dog or whatever.
Are you and Candace getting support from your law enforcement and everything to help find Summer?
Okay. All right. Here we go. And then I went, aha. Aha. Didn't this just happen? Didn't that kind of those kind of questions remind you of a first encounter between them two? I think so. That's just me. I could be blowing this out of the water or out of proportion. I don't know. But do you see the connection in my opinion? Yeah. There's something going on here.
Well, yeah, I believe so. I don't want to.
No, don't. I know. I understand.
Yeah. I mean, there for a long time, it was touch and go with law enforcement. But some cops, probably all cops are human. Some are different. Some, they're all different. They all act differently. So,
Oh, I understand. Our family's been living the same nightmare
right
for 779 days.
Right. Yeah.
And
damn. There you go.
Exactly. That's nothing more horrific for a mother. There's been nothing more horrific in my life, and I can't imagine. I can imagine more horrific stories, but I don't know.
I know the thoughts. I think, yeah, I know the deep thoughts. I just can't even imagine speaking those words.
Yeah, when you wonder what's going on, especially, here it's been over 2 years, but those first few
821 days.
Them first few nights, you're like, where?
Okay, so do you hear the boom this day, boom that day, boom? I know mine and your daughter's. Not only do I know how many days my son has been missing, but I know how many days your daughter has been missing. What do you think of that, Don? You piece of shit. It comes off that way, right? Which, hey, it is what it is, Don. But I think that was a bit much. I mean, Sammy, I like Sammy's comment here. Well, personally, I would never expect a mother or father to know exactly how many days or spit them out. I would expect to have enough going on to please the public when it's necessary. Correct. I agree. Like, you need to know that if you're going on a live conference on the 333rd day, it would be good to know how many days, right? Or if you're writing a speech or whatever. But this was coming up on panel out of nowhere. Don, answer these questions. Come on. Do you know? Do you not know? Well, I do. Because they knew. They knew he wouldn't. We all know he wouldn't and still wouldn't. And if you feel like that was warranted, if you think that this is warranted because Don Wells is Don Wells, cool. That's cool. I see a lot of that. But why? What's the reasoning for this?
You're wondering, what's your kid going through? Is she being beat? Is they being
raped? No. Yeah.
I disagree with everybody's opinion pretty much on this, and that's okay. Again, I'm not trying to change your mind on this. I'm expressing myself because it's my damn channel. Every parent, I'm sure, or every person who has had a loved one go missing or feel they were harmed has had thoughts of, oh my God, what happened? What are the possibilities? I personally have heard recordings of scenarios going through what she feels or thinks may have. And then she says, I can't go down there. It's too much. And I understand that is reasonable. But Don can't do it. No matter what your feelings are, it doesn't matter. Because we all on the majority feel the same way about these parents of Summer Wells. But damn it, we're going to exploit the shit out of it, right?
Those words,
Yeah.
you go through those thoughts and everything, but you got to keep the hope.
Well, of course. Yeah, absolutely. There's hope. You
and Candace both got to keep the hope.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we don't know. We know that this
Exactly.
gets killed every day, and they're mistreated every day. We got to be realistic too. I mean,
yeah, you do. But you know what? You love your babies, and you never give up on hope on them.
Oh no, never.
Never. And when I hear you, sir, I apologize. I'm being cross because right now I can't even after everything that's happened in Michael's case, I'm still putting up new photos, pictures, and everything.
Right.
So I just don't understand.
Brandi, you see the
Yes.
event too over the weekend where they put out.
I did see the event, and it was very beautiful, and that was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was amazing, and we've done a lot of those for Michael and other missing children as well.
I didn't mean to remove a comment in the chat. I'm so sorry. I think it was Danny C. The whole thing comes off as disingenuous. Correct. Right. I didn't mean to delete that. I apologize. I hit the wrong button. And somebody said, I'm so glad somebody feels that way. See, so there are people who feel this way. And I knew that they did because I know and have seen other people's concerns about this because they kind of know better from the beginning of what we have all gone through, in a sense, with Twitter. Juniper says it's complicated for sure. I won't want to be in Brandi or Don's shoes right now. I wouldn't be able to function, right? Mm-hmm. It's an interesting position to hear the two parents, right? And it's okay to do so. And it's not okay for people to tell you can't or that you shouldn't just because they support them and feel a certain way, right? That's a huge problem for me, to tell people, first of all, what to do in a sense, or how to feel. Because I'm very, please be open-minded and do your own thing and stick to your guns if that's how you feel, but don't harm other people for having those different feelings or thoughts. It's not okay to do. You are the bully at that point. This made me feel a certain way, and I ain't even a Wells fan. I am definitely not. And it's okay to not be. You can be questionable on everything, no matter how it may look or how different they compare. Because look, I've always said this, Don and Candace are an anomaly of horrible. They're even worse than the normal worst you see, in my opinion, when it comes to the YouTube craziness and the things that we have heard and the things that have been said. They're an anomaly of bad. Mrs. Peacock says, like some sick tug of war game, some are playing in these, right? Mm-hmm. Right. Hi, happy hippie. So, let's continue.
I don't remember.
779.
779.
Okay.
That's what
you're at 821.
Lord, you practice this, ma'am. I have to say it now, darling. You practice this. I would have to have a sticky note. My ADHD is so bad. I would question myself and say, shit, did I get the number right? Shit. Let me look at my notepad. All right. But at this point, it is, in my opinion, quite damn obvious that this is a little scripted. We get it. You're a number guru on this. We get it.
21. For Summers, it's 821.
Summer went missing 42 days before Michael did.
Right. Yeah.
So, and that's how I found about Summer.
Yeah, we tried to get a hold of you a long time ago, but McDonough and others put the brakes on that.
No, they did not.
Oh, they didn't? Oh,
okay. No, sir.
We tried to get a hold of you through other agencies and people. Okay.
Tim Mullins, or
he's one of them.
Yeah, no, sir.
Okay.
I've worked wholeheartedly, my husband and I, my fiance and I should say, because we're not legally married. We'll put the
Tim Mullins did reach out. He absolutely did reach out, I believe, to the other PR rep, which I have compared them. I have. Tim and Lawanda. It has been a pain in a lot of people's backsides, especially Michael Vaughan's. I digress. He did reach out. He did. And they were like, nope. And that's all.
the facts out there. But Michael's father and I have worked closely with law enforcement, the FBI, NECMEC, anybody and everybody that could possibly help.
Right. Yeah, you turn to everybody you can. And,
Yeah,
you know,
and you
and
take
then,
the punches.
right. Absolutely. That's why I turned to social media, because we're sitting here all alone. We can't sleep. I thought, well, I can't go out there and search and break people's doors down. That don't work. And get into all kinds of trouble. Possibly get killed or hurt somebody else or whatever. Something's going to go down eventually. So you can't do that. So.
Well, I'll be honest with you, sir. My fiance actually had to call the police.
So even other people in Daisy's chat, which look, whatever. I don't even know none of these people, nor do I want to. But this Debbie Nielsen said, damn well she added that up before she called. She did not wake up every morning knowing the day Summer was missing. I don't believe that for a minute. That was cruel of her to do that. And I do understand that point of view. Don't 100% agree with it. But at the same time, it's like, it is odd. So what I'm trying to say is, what triggered this?
Police on me because I was going to go kick somebody's door in.
Right, exactly.
But I walked every step an inch with them, and I still do.
Right, of course.
I just talk about Summer.
Yeah, we've been talking about Summer for 2 years.
Boom. Okay. Now, this is no longer questioning Don. This is telling Don what to do. This is telling Don how to do it. Just talk about Summer. Just talk about him. Talk about her. Well, I don't know what else Don can say other than where is she? Potentially, maybe. Or how can we find her? I don't think there's really anything else to say. With the limitations that we know to be true about these, the parents and their memories. All right. And I'm trying to be respectful because I don't want to do a hate on everybody day. There's been plenty of that going around, but at the same time, come on. What was this about? Why did it come about? And why did it come about today? Or on this day?
Over 2 years. I mean, we went wide open with Summer. We put a lot of her pictures on social media, pictures we shouldn't have put out there, in the hopes that somebody would recognize her. That was our hope. We wasn't worried about how we looked or how dirty her face was or anything else.
I understand.
We was worried. We wanted people to see her face and every feature of her in the hopes that someone would see her. And we took the punches big time for that, with all the haters and the narcissistic conspiratists that are out there.
Look, it is what it is. Don was honest right there. Don said, look, we didn't hide ourselves to be anything but what we were. They didn't hide it. Guilty or not, whatever. They didn't hide. They can't. How could they? The damage is done. Now, when it comes to what they know and how and all that other shit, of course, that's not going to be put out there. But what I'm saying is that they didn't hide themselves. They really didn't. And he admits it. We put the pictures out there as dirty as she was, and we look like shit because this is what we look like. This is us. There was no fakeness on that front. Now, was there a lot of other fakeness? Yes, of course. But I can tell you one thing. I see it on all sides here.
And everything else. And we're still taking a lot of heat and punches from these people.
And you brush it off.
Yes, Brooke,
Sometimes
sure.
yes, and sometimes no. But when they come out to your job and they come out to your house and they do all that
Yeah.
stuff, and they come sneaking up your driveway at 3 in the morning and every damn thing else, you can't just.
Or they
brush it
walk
off all the
into
time.
your job and call you a murderer right to your face.
Exactly, and that's happened to Candace many times when she's been in public.
Who did that?
From the very beginning, and I have a live coverage on this and videos, whatever. I have a playlist on Michael. From the very beginning, there had been locals that have come in and said some very derogative things, I'm assuming, to Tyler, Brady's fiance, Michael Vaughn's father, right? And that was the reason. That was actually the reason why Tyler didn't come out and talk. Because how hard is it to be faced with that kind of scrutiny? He's a soft, cuddly teddy bear, Julia T. You know what I'm talking about. He's working full time to provide for our family. He's having a very difficult time. Verbatim. I've heard this so many times. That's what she said about Tyler. And that's why he couldn't come out and speak about anything. And then she got really upset after somebody was pushing, saying, Brady, you weren't there that day. You're having a hard time with the timelines that you're asking people to help you with or spread information out about, hopefully getting some tips sent in for your son. Da 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 da. She got pissed. He is working full time to provide for our family. What would you do if somebody came up and called you a murderer? You harmed our son. You took our son. You know what happened to our son. Tell me. That's what she said. And I'm reiterating this, not to throw shade, but she understands. She understands completely what it's like to be scrutinized as hardcore as Don is on a local level. On a local level. So why now?
To Brandy.
No,
Did somebody do that to Brandy? That's awful if they did that to Brandy.
Yeah, but you still go. You still do it because you know your truth.
You don't have a choice. Yeah, you got to keep moving. You got to keep going. But it still hurts like hell.
Do you know Summer's favorite flower?
I don't know that she had a favorite flower. I think she liked all flowers.
Okay. Now I'm sorry I'm stopping so much, but damn it. Now it's becoming extremely obvious of the condescending tone. Now the anger's kind of creeping up here. I get it. But Don didn't do shit to you. I'm just going to be honest with you. He didn't ask you to come up on panel and and I think Daisy at this point, shame on her for not saying, whoa. Let's take it a step back. Maybe ask some questions. Is there any updates on Monkey? Is there any updates? Is there anything that we can do to share? What can I do you for?
Yeah, all little kids love all flowers. Well, Mr. Wells, I appreciate you talking with me for a minute.
No problem. I hope you're doing better. I know you've been through pure hell because we've been going through the same hell.
I'm going through hell, but I go every day. I've got my littles resting.
Yeah, that's good.
And
has there been any updates?
Throwing the shade there.
I was going to ask that, but
there is.
Well-deserved shade. She has her littles, doesn't she? Kind of like Don. You don't have shit. Fair enough. Can't be mad at that.
Good. I know that you can't talk about a lot of it, but we are still praying for you guys.
Miss Daisy.
Yes.
Please do not use Michael's name when you are talking about SA or our situations. Do not use Michael's name in that.
Who said I was doing that?
Here we go. So all of that led up to this moment. And really, what we all know to be true is that Daisy was talking about missing children, Summer. Don was talking about the possibility of Summer being trafficked. And because that's the narrative, or that's what Don wants everyone to focus on, right? Either the narrative or to focus on what happened to Summer, right? That narrative cannot be compared to Michael Vaughan in her eyes, because that is unacceptable to her, and she has a right. Let me repeat this 100 times. She has a right to feel this way. I do not blame her for feeling this way. She has a right to tell Daisy, do not say this. Do I think, as much as I do not support this woman, do I think Daisy meant any harm? No, I do not. Does every YouTube scream she knew what she was doing? Yeah. Yep. Every YouTuber tragedy pimped the shit out of this situation. Yes, they did. And then replayed it and replayed it and replayed it because they're so mad at Daisy for the shit she has pulled many, many, many times about Summerwell's case. Do I agree with what she does? No. Do not support it. However, was this warranted in this situation? In my opinion, not really. She could have asked, very simply, in my opinion, just, could you please not do that? Which she did. 20 months, Brooke. Woohoo! Girlfriend. Much love to you, honey. It didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to come off this way, in my opinion. But I get it. And I don't blame her.
I seen it. You were running Michael's name, which I'm very grateful for, that you always run Michael's name and the phone number for contacts for tips. But when it comes to those situations, please do not run my son's name.
When have I run your son's name and talked about SA? Please tell me that. I know a lot of people are in your ear right now, Brandi. And
no, this is me. This is me. This is all me.
For you all, when other people are attacking you, just like they are Don and Candace. And
that's not my place. But my place is to protect my son and my family. And you had a live within the past week with Mr. Wells, and you were running Michael's name across with him telling his truth.
Now, this is implying that people out here are sheep and who are watching, who are coinciding that Michael and Summer both were trafficked. And Daisy's going to be the one to infiltrate the minds of people that that's what happened. Now, if you think about this, first of all, this has already been a theory. Pretty much a majority of people from the jump have stated that that's their belief. So that has already been a thing. I'm just being honest. I've seen it with my own eyes. But that's what people kind of go towards first, because there is a chance to recover first. And secondly, trafficking is a problem. It is a problem. And we do see that it does happen, because you can't have trafficking without an abduction first, and that includes a parent abduction. Parents can abduct their child out of the home that they should be in and traffic them. It happens. It does. Human trafficking actually happens within the home more than anything. But that does not look good, does it? It doesn't look good. And she may not want that to be correlated with Michael, and that is her right. However, it's already been established that people feel this way long before, and she has seen it. She acknowledges it. I promise you that. You're just going to have to trust me on that. Go to Twitter and see. But there was a bird in my ear who kind of pops up and in and out like a weasel from time to time, that had a conversation about potentially the neighbor from 1102 Red Wing Street being the one who harmed Michael. And that was the theory going on around the family, that's a potential. And so I thought to myself, well, that's unfair to go after them this way, when behind the scenes, that's what's happening. So this wasn't really about that, in my opinion, and I could be wrong. Shame on me if I am. But I don't think that that's exactly what was going on. And I don't think Daisy, honest to God, meant to bundle up the SA stuff, talking about Summer and potentials with Michael. I don't.
So
I
I'm
know.
respectfully asking not to associate Michael with any
Well,
of those situations, please.
yeah, I'll just take his name and pictures completely down. I appreciate you. I know that you have had a lot of people in your ear. Remember, I was here first before the rest of them. I know I was here supporting you before the lab and everybody else. I know a lot of people's been in your ear. I've supported you 100%.
So she mentions the
you got
lab.
us-
She mentions the lab. And I think this is what the lab was saying about, I just realized it, about being in Brandy's ear. Would it surprise me, just between me and you? No. It actually would make sense, but that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. I probably am. But I get it. Daisy said it.
influenced by people.
No,
Yes, you have.
no,
You have.
and you know what those people have done for our family and Michael.
Not for your family, but they've also attacked this family. And you know what? Get this. She was over in a person's chat that I can't talk about right now. Before she came over here, she was over in that person's chat, and talking about this. So
I
I
understand.
knew there was an agenda because I had seen her over there in that chat. So I think I handled the situation better than what most people would have, because she had been over in that trolls chat before she came over to my chat. By people.
No,
Yes, you have.
no,
You have.
and you know what those people have done for our family and Michael
Not for your family.
within the past week with Mr. Wells, and you were running Michael's name across with him telling his truth. So
I
I'm
know.
respectfully asking not to associate Michael with any
Well,
of those situations, please.
I'll just take his name and pictures completely down. I appreciate you. I know that you have had a lot of people in your ear. Remember, I was here first before the rest of them. I know I was here supporting you before the lab and everybody else. I know a lot of people's been in your ear. I've supported you 100%, but you've
I
obviously
know.
influenced by people.
No,
Yes, you have.
no,
You have.
and you know what those people have done for our family and Michael.
Okay, so she's kind of caught off guard that Daisy was like, now hold on a minute. I know where you've been. I know what you're doing. I'll just completely stop. Because she knows. Daisy has, again, not sticking up for anything Daisy has ever done just because I disagree with this. Okay? But Daisy, I think, knows exactly what's going on because she's in chats all the time and gets told shit all the time. Her mods, too. Yeah, I said it, mods over there. You know, part of this whole drama. I think that she knew that there was people behind her, Brandy, if you will, giving her a little pep talk, maybe, potentially, possibly. And I don't blame her for thinking that. Let's just say that. I don't blame her for going there.
Not for your family, but they've also attacked this family. And you know what? Get this. She was over in a person's chat that I can't talk about right now. Before she came over here, she was over in that person's chat,
Brooks.
and talking
Crime
about
lines.
this.
Come
So
on.
I knew there was an agenda because I had seen her over there in that chat. So I think I handled the situation better than what most people would have, because she had been over in that trolls chat before she came over to my chat. Feels like to be attacked. I know.
I'm asking in honor and in respect.
And they were live streaming me. They were live streaming me over on that chat that she was in, that she was a mod for. They gave her a ranch. The same chat. Well, I'm not going to address the other things, but I'm just saying.
Michael and my family. Please. I'm not saying anything else.
I'll take it completely out, Brandon. And I'm sorry that these people have influenced you like this. And for you to be attacked.
Now, that didn't help things, Daisy, did it? You don't tell somebody to go over there and figure out why you're being this way. She is a grown woman and she can make her own decisions. People forget that even influence, you still make your own decisions. She's a big girl who puts her big girl pants on every day and does hard things. So she's not that manipulated. Okay. give her credit. Give Brandi more credit than that.
Horribly by people. You should understand what Don and Candace is going through.
I do, and I have been very empathetic. You can ask anybody that knows me, and I have tried to be supportive and kind and respectful.
So I'd say
I've had my opinions, yes.
Well, we all have our opinions, but if it's true or not, and it's not fair for you to have an opinion like that when you've been through the same thing.
Well, I'm asking you right now, my son hasn't been through something like that. So I'm just asking, please do not use Michael Joseph.
Okay, so it's not about what potentially could happen. She just said, my son has never been through anything like that. So that's where the triggering must have come from, that she doesn't want people thinking that Monkey had been before he went missing. That is totally understandable, correct? That's completely understandable. I don't think anybody in the free speaking world ever thought that. Right? She and what really matters at the end of the day is how she feels about how her son's information in that regard is being dealt. But I don't think anybody thought that. Put a 1 in the chat if you ever thought that was what was happening to Michael Vaughan. Not me. Not once. Not ever. Okay, yeah, I'm waiting for the ones that aren't coming. And if you are, you're trolling. Not once.
The Vaughn's name when you're talking about SA or ours, please, and thank you.
Your son no more. Anything about Monkey anymore.
Wow. Really, that's how you're going to go, Miss Daisy.
Well, that's obviously how you're going to go. You come up here to be.
No, ma'am, I'm not.
Candace, when you've been through the same thing, harsh reality has put you and your husband through.
Oh.
And I stood up beside you all.
Yep.
You think that Chris McDonough's not persuading the agenda? These people invited him.
Ma'am, I haven't spoke to Chris McDonough in
what you're doing
months.
Is not
no, what I'm doing right.
Well, and this is why I listen, unfortunately, because that was like a golden ticket. I haven't talked to Chris McDonough in months. And I'm like, what? What? And then I remembered, oh, right. He was involved in an investigation. I guess that means y'all can't talk anymore, even though didn't he make a video of your son speaking about a predator speaking on, get this, a child, one of the worst child abductor killers out there from Walla Walla, Washington. And I thought to myself, oh shit, the coverage Chris McDonough is doing is inferring that this could have happened to Michael. And my heart sank into my ass and cried about it. That broke my heart for Michael. That was what was being said. But now he can't talk to her. Had thousands upon thousands upon thousands of views about it. And an interview with the parents like he did with Don and Candace, but they're not the same. Don't do that. Chris McDonough can interview the parents and the grandparent of Michael Vaughan, and then interview Candace and go through the house just like he did with Michael Vaughan's house. They're not the same. But this, for some reason, was a very big trigger.
Now is being respectful and trying to help find
when you do
our little loves. And I'm asking you to be respectful of my son.
Well, I put your son's name out here. They talk about SA. Don put an SA on this baby all the time, and you're just fine with all the rest of them. But all of a sudden, you have a problem with me. That doesn't.
I'm not saying I have.
Oh, again, Daisy, could you quit making sense? Because I don't like doing this. But damn it, she got a point. Can't deny that. That's logic there. It's true. That is true. Damn it, Daisy. Still don't like you. Appreciate your letting me use this content until I can't. But damn it, Daisy. Got a point.
A problem with you. I'm saying I have a problem with you having my son's name attached to those issues. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And I'm being respectful as I can, Miss Daisy, right now.
Now, the comparison of being upset I think it's unfair, but I don't blame her, as I've said 100 times already. Sorry, I just want to make that clear because, it's going to be clipped and I'm going to be the devil, the damn devil at the end of this. True Crime with Evil. It's been my name for the last 6 months. It's kind of like covering, let's say, a war. All right. You're talking about a war, please pray for soldiers. And it's scrolled down at the bottom. And the conversation goes into something kind of related, but not. Like, for instance, raising money for funds for victims of a war. And then somebody comes in and goes, "You grifting bitch. Take that reward fund off of here right now. This is not the same." Maybe to compare, it's like raising funds for both sides of a victim. We're raising funds for all sides, the victims of all sides and their families. But don't take that shit down. I don't think Daisy meant harm by this. I don't. And I don't think that she realized that was going on. Now, does she need to stop putting hashtags of other kids or other topics into a live that has no business being there? Yeah, you need to stop that shit. I get that. I understand that. Don't relate that. And I understand that point. But this was, in my opinion, blown a lot out of proportion.
Because
Well,
I know we've both been through hell.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Your son is completely innocent and too young to even understand anything about them things.
Exactly. And that's all I'm asking is the respect to not be
And my
his name
daughter
to be associated with that.
And the same with my daughter.
Remember
My
that
da-
when they're talking about your son, when they're
My daughter,
Summer.
my daughter is innocent and too young to
Yes.
understand anything about SA.
Right. So
So
her
I
name
think-
should not be attached to that as well.
Well,
in my opinion,
we have to look at things realistically. I mean, whoever come and took my daughter, they didn't come up.
I hate to. You have to adjust things for certain people who do not function on the same level or capacity as others. And I'm not saying make excuses. I'm saying adjust. All right. Because they are different circumstances in a sense of obvious signs of how these parents live different lives, different styles. Right? Dawn is okay with talking about that. Dawn is okay with speaking about the possibility that Summer was SA'd in some way or trafficked, whatever the case may be. Whatever Dawn's narrative potentially is being spun. But Brandi thinks it's okay to tell him, don't do that. And I understand as a mama bear, you want to protect all the babies. Of course, I understand that. But how many times have we heard, this is my son. This is my son, and I say what goes. Do not do this. Well, honey, and I'm not trying to be condescending, but look, this is how Dawn feels. Okay? As much as I hate it, and as much as I hate how he does and says some of the shit he does, it's a little hypocritical. It's a little hypocritical. But it's okay, because it's Dawn. Dawn is shit. Therefore, shit on him. It's okay. But don't you dare make the same rule for anybody else, because that's just the way it is. Take your fifis out of it, it doesn't make sense. But because you hate the man so much, and we all feel the way we feel, it's not okay. And guess who is hurting at the end of that, is what I'm trying to get at. Michael Vaughan and Summer Wells. Do you think that's going to do them a bit of good? No. Catfighting about this petty shit, in my opinion, in a sense of telling what parent what to do and what not to do and who to join and what not to join. And Dawn isn't going over there telling Brandi what to do. Dawn isn't going over there saying, Tyler, get your ass up on the panel with your wife and talk to me. I don't understand this. Even though he'd say, Candace is busy right now. She can't speak, because she's not feeling good. The irony, right? But what I'm trying to get at is you don't hear that. And if that were to happen, oh my God, I will tell you one thing right now. They would have pitchforks and powder guns. Is that what Don has? Powder guns? Because he's a felon and that's all they can have in Tennessee. Sorry. They'd have pitchforks and powder guns after his ass quick. That's the hypocrisy.
Okay, to take her to Disneyland. I mean, whoever took her, they done it for bad intentions. And, and unfortunately, sexual abuse is high on the list of the reasons that they take little kids. Unfortunately, that's the reality. There's sickos out there.
What did Donna Serafina, remember the Donna Serafina readings? Everybody remembers that. That was what she was alluding to. And I found out the conversation in the back chat of these ladies that were talking that we all know is the center of, specifically one that is scrutinized for releasing or trusting someone to send information to the FBI, blah, 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 blah. The recorder, the crusty. The back chat on that was that what you're hearing right now that Don's saying is exactly what Miss Serafina said. And it was very nonchalant about the way it was explained. So it's very ironic when you know those little things and then you hear shit like this and you're like, I know better. I know better. But how do you know if you don't listen? Or how do you know if you don't hear the opinions of others who know better?
Yes, and that's fact, and it is true.
I put that on, Josh including. Josh, Justin, all of these people that's in your ear has put that on Baby Seymour. It's really bad.
No.
It was because of what Mary. Well, I won't do it no more because that's fine.
Miss Daisy, will you just calm yourself for just a second, honey? And listen, look, this has nothing to do with anybody else. And I know this is your channel. And Mr. Wells, I'm sorry, I'm not being disrespectful. But you're talking about these babies and all of these things. Maybe you should talk about these babies instead of all this other stuff when you hashtag their names. Like so what? That's what I'm going to say about it.
I talk about the babies all the time.
You do? No, you talk more about the drama.
I talk about the drama.
Okay. I have so many clips, many clips of Daisy covering Michael with Brandi. Daisy does whatever she asks. Really. And I've rolled my eyes about what they were talking about because Daisy didn't get a lick of anything right. And Brandi never really corrected her either. But whatever. And I was just rolling my eyes. But at least Michael's information was getting out there, and that's what's important. But the drama that was ever on Michael came from you know who. And if that's what was the narrative for the day, it happened. It was talked about. And for the love of God, I hate to say this, but this makes me mad. Daisy, do you remember, if you're listening or if somebody wants to send this to her, do you remember when you and Life of whatever the mod is, what's her name? The prayer, the very religious one. Do you remember when y'all tried to go after Sarah Wondra by interviewing her ex-husband who beat her ass? Do you remember that? Who told you, who dropped into chat and said, just want to give you a thumbs up and thankful for what you're doing for me? Who came into chat and said that? And I had to make a whole ass live saying, do not interview that man. Because the court records we already had about him said he whooped her ass. DV. She had to run back to Oregon from Texas and could not be a witness and had to drop the charges because she didn't want to be around him. That's the truth. That's the reality. That's what the reality is. But who told you to do that, Daisy? I would really like for you to tell us who told you to go after and interview him. Sarah Wondra's ex-husband from Texas, Ricky. I would really like to know the backstory on that. Because that was wrong. That was wrong. I know they're suspects, and I know it's heightened, and you feel so hardcore about getting justice for Monkey. Of course. That's all I want, and that's all a lot of people want. But you don't go there and dig up stuff that had nothing to do with Monkey at all in any way, shape, or form. That was 12 plus years ago, 10 plus years ago. And that's very triggering for other people on the platform who has survived DV. You just don't go there. So what I'm trying to say is that people would go to hell and back for anything and everything for this mother, or this family rather. It's the hypocrisy is all. And the creators behind it, allowing it, chanting it, profiting off of it. But their day comes. One by one, I've seen creators who have supported Michael Vaughan and the family slowly drop off, one by one by one. I just didn't bet it was going to be Daisy.
Have you seen?
Yes, and you blame everybody else.
See exactly what I was talking about. Exactly. Why did you have to bring that up? Because somebody's been in her ear. She does not know what I've been through. That channel that she was on.
Now
that she was over there.
I cannot stand this woe is me shit, Daisy. Good Lord. You cannot compare any way, shape, or form to having a missing child, no matter how you feel about it. Shame on you on this. You cannot compare. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. However, flip side devil's advocate here. Some of the shit that she is going through that she's speaking on, Brandi is over in there on a live with somebody who threatened my own child, mind you. We all know who that is, right? If you don't, you need to do some research because I'm not going to bring it up again. But going on panel with a creator or two creators, one threatening that I need to get some legal retaliation against Brooke. And then the other one on her panel likes to harass and threaten a child, my child. So I kind of understand. I kind of get it. But still, shame on you, Daisy. What the hell?
They're in before she came over. Yeah. That to me was being disrespectful.
Now,
because if I wanted to be with the crowd and all about the drama, I would have turned against her with everybody else, but I didn't do that. I stood by her when nobody else did. Literally, nobody else did.
That's true. That's true.
I Miss Daisy, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you.
Brandi, do you know?
And I know you are trying to keep the names out there, but go back to your roots, love. That's my understanding.
That they have doxed my home and trying to get Christine fired. Do you know how ruthless
Oh,
these people
shut
have
up, Daisy.
to hurt
I'm sorry, but stop.
About me. So, yeah. Yet she addressed it.
We've all been doxed, harassed.
I put this in private. Because of respect for her. I knew she was not in a good way, and I knew it wasn't going to be good. So I put this in.
Then she got hacked. I don't know if that's true. I don't even care. However, it is very interesting that someone who has been known to hacky hack, if you will, and their friend, another creator, loves to hacky hack. I love that shit. Is that what she said? I love you. You never know what kind of information you get or something along those lines. So it's very interesting that maybe it could be true. I don't know. It's hard to say.
In private, so nobody else could see. But that troll channel hacked into my back chat and took it and stole it from me and played it on his live. And then Crime Lines and Lies stole it and Pearls.
It's possible.
And used it against me. I put this in private because I knew it wasn't going to be good. Out of respect for her and Don. It was stolen, and Crime Lines and Lies got struck because of it. She stole it. She still has it under members only.
Thank you. And I respect it. And I think
now Maybe it was just somebody recorded it. I don't know. I really don't.
Thank you so much for always keeping Michael's name out there. But I'm asking you respectfully, when it comes to those situations, please do not associate Michael's name to those things, because that's nowhere around
I hope you
Michael.
keep that with everybody else too. I hope that's something that you keep with everyone else too.
So Daisy sticks up for herself as much as we don't agree. She says, okay, I'll do what you ask, but just know I know. I see through you, girl. I'm calling you out. And she's like, just stop it, okay? Do as I say. It is my son. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I thought that was the end of it. Nope.
Now, I don't know if Brandy's aware of the legal issues that's going on in my life with these YouTubers. I don't think she knows the legal issues. And last night, she pretty much didn't care, in my opinion.
Well, that has nothing, I mean, like, she might be part of the cause, I guess, but why is that her problem right now? I don't see that. Horsewoman says, question, Eve, are you aware Brandy asked Daisy in private before this live not to run Monkey's name with drama? No. I had no idea. I have no idea. Yeah, why crime? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess somebody that, somebody that might have some carrots dangling over your head, someone like that, right, might get away with that, right? Especially if we're close to the creator who is allowed to get away with this shit, like threaten a child. I don't know. She said, I'm glad you agreed that what Daisy said about Brady not knowing what she is going through is foul. It is absolutely foul and out of bounds for sure. Yeah. All right. So a little, I know I'm going to get some retaliation against this if I played it, but it basically says from Brandy that the drama between Daisy and her for being stricken because it's Daisy's content. Brandy goes, no, it's mine because I was on the panel and therefore it's my content and everybody can use it as we see fit, which is not how it works. All right. It's not how it works. But she said, you could use it. Thank you. Okay, bye. And of course, it's coming from Brooke's Crime Lines and Lies channel. How ironic. How ironic is that? So you think it's okay to use her, a mother of a missing child, to work out your legality issue with being stricken by Daisy. Uh-huh. But you care. Because this is more important than Michael Vaughan. This is what's more important, is broadcasting her in the drama bullshit. Okay. This is the hypocrisy, and this is the kind of stuff that I'm sick of seeing. Sick of it. Not okay. This is the same creator who called me and said, something doesn't sound right with this case. Can you give me a call back? But that wasn't until, that was after threatening me that legal ramifications would ensue for covering Michael's case. All right.
Last night, when I mentioned what I was going through,
I said this was going to be a long live, didn't I?
I felt like she didn't feel like that mine was as important as what she's been going through. But literally, the chat that she had been in before she came out here, that live streamed me, stole.
I'm not going to go over the rest. It's really irrelevant. We all know that Don takes up for himself and says,
well, that's not what you said tonight, dear.
You know, it's kind of condescending if you're honest, coming up here asking all these questions. And I'm like, damn it, Don, do not make me agree with you, you son of a... because I don't like it. Makes me feel uneasy and makes me want to crawl out of my skin. But damn it, Dawn, you're right. You came up here asking me all these questions. You knew damn well I would know why. We know why. I think that we can deduce potentially, or at least I can. You guys have your own minds. I think that we can deduce that I think there is birdies in the ears. Potentially. Or I could be wrong. And it just really chapped her ass. I don't know.
I got mad because people come in here and tell me not to talk about Michael when I have kept his name out here.
All
Yes, I have, Brandy.
yes, you have had Michael's name.
You shouldn't get upset over this.
You know why I'm upset is because the way you're speaking about me and my son. That's why I'm upset, Stacey, because I don't expect this from you. I didn't expect this from you and how you reacted over these past few months.
This right here goes to prove that she heard everything that I said last night on the other live. That was privated, that was stole, and once again to stir the shit pot. By Crime Lines and Lies, she stole it because that video is in private.
Yep.
He just don't
I
understand
agree.
it. And that's why I'm so frustrated and upset. And nobody's in my ear. I'm 40 damn years old. My son has been missing 833 days, and I still keep my family together working every damn day.
There's the number.
So don't you dare tell me that you don't care how I feel.
I do care.
I heard it earlier. Well,
I do
your
care.
words stated otherwise, and my blood pressure's in the damn roof. My heart's gonna explode because you hurt my heart. Well, I just want you to understand.
You know I wasn't meant to hurt you.
I want you to listen.
What
Are you listening?
to understand too is it breaks my heart to see her being manipulated by people. And in my opinion, she's being very manipulated by people.
Daisy is not the only one who feels that way. I see it on the comments all the time.
And it's hurtful to me.
To me. Please, Miss Daisy, are you listening to me?
Yes. But I just went along with her.
I am asking you to keep sharing Michael's name and his face and his beautiful picture out there. All I'm asking is to keep the BS away from his case. And if you talk about Michael's case, could you separate it from other cases?
Yes,
ma'am. I would greatly appreciate that.
Brandy, don't let people get you upset, okay?
You have me upset, Daisy.
Brandy, you have no idea what I've been going through. If
you
Ugh. I can't stand that. Woe is me shit. I just can't.
But for her to say that to me, like, that was not very nice. But I chose to ignore what she was saying and just went on.
Oh, and yes, you have stood up for me and Michael and our family. But I'm telling you right now, this is just.
I don't want you getting upset anymore.
I hope you feel better soon, Miss Daisy. You have a good night.
You too. Bye, honey.
And even after all that, she was like, goodbye, honey. I'm sorry. You know, da 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 da. Too late now. Maybe you should really think about getting close to any of the parents of a missing child because it's really not looking too good. This is why I preach. Do not get close. Help out when needed. Do what is asked. That is it. Because YouTube will rip it to shreds, destroy the case, and everybody else will ignore the actual receipts and the actual good information and the actual facts of the case, no matter how it makes you feel. Because this is this front center stage, the bullshit. While poor Michael and poor Summer, if they're somewhere out there, they don't care about the drama. They're asking, when is somebody going to save me? Or when is somebody going to get justice for me? While you're arguing about this. Things that have been created out of your own bullshit, right? This should not be what is perpetuated by other channels, in my opinion. And again, I'm covering it to make those points. Because it has to be addressed. It has to be addressed. Be accountable. Own up to it. I made a whole accountability live where I had to literally tuck the tail between my legs. I didn't want to do it. I didn't even fully 100% agree with the words that were coming out of my mouth about it. But I did it. Because you have to be accountable. And you have to do better. But if I have to do better and lose my EquiSearch membership over Michael Vaughan's case, if I have to deal with threats and violence, if the babysitter had to get her tire slashed, be told she was guilty, be told that she was the one that harmed Michael, Brandy's friends calling her a murderer and a child kidnapper, tell her to go get harmed at the bar that she was just trying to get some peace at, per her words and per her demand, you creators can do the same. You can sit there and stow about it, but you need to be accountable for this because this is what's harming cases. And you're sitting here thinking you're saviors. You're not saving shit. But the amounts going into your Cash App, that's what you're saving. This is not okay. How many times are we going to do this to another missing child's case? How many times is this going to keep happening? How many times is somebody going to grab the attention of the parents of a missing child and they're never found and we have to go round and round and round and round and round again because y'all can't shut it and not focus on stuff that is irrelevant? And I'm scrutinized for having an opinion about the facts laid out from the horse's mouth or showing receipts of what has been said, what has changed. Y'all are going after the wrong people, but I think it's intentional because your money is what's more important than these kids. Y'all are all liars out there. And y'all know who you are. So we're going to jump off of that. Don't leave yet. Don't think that this is over for a second now. I wanted to kind of really nail this in, this finale, with something that it's going to seem like I'm smacking around the mother of Michael Vaughan, and I'm not trying to. I've been trying really hard not to. I'm trying to respect the case of Michael. But there's some times where it's just it's inevitable. I can't help what was said and what was done. Okay? This one's going to hurt. But do you remember the Bullhorn Betty craziness? Does anybody remember that? With Michael Vaughan's case? I believe Brandi was on a live with Perp Phoenix. And I'll call you whatever the hell I want to after the shit you talked, bitch. Talking to Perp, not anybody else. But Bullhorn Betty had called the jail, right? And asked about Sarah and Stacey Wondra and if they had been arrested and what is their charge. Okay. Well, Brandi was like, it's not true. It's not true. It's all lies. Law enforcement, I'm working with the prosecutor. Da-da-dee-dee-dee. And then when Bullhorn Betty put it on the live, or it got around, rather, back to her, that Sarah Wondra had in fact been arrested when they did the search warrant for failure to report a death. Remember that? And it was a big stink. Holy crap. Even I was like, oh no, this is horrible. That is not the way to do this. How dare she? I was horrifically pissed because it isn't okay. It's not. But that's actually not exactly what happened here. Do you remember all of the creators reclipping the devastation? Remember the devastation that we all saw on Brandi's face? I was crying. And I remember going, I will never, ever, ever watch another thing or speak to Bullhorn Betty again. Not that I was speaking to her, but I'm just saying I wouldn't even give her the time of day to say hello. Well, interesting enough, that was so traumatic for me personally seeing that I remember it. And then I thought, okay, I'm reading this article that came out of nowhere. Do you remember the interview with Brandi and on KTVB, I think in February of 2023? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Hopefully I can find it real fast. One moment. Oh, here it is. All right. I lost my place. Sorry. One moment. Here we go. Open up, please. Everybody's waiting. Believe it was February. Yeah, it was. That's not the right one. Shit. Almost there. What is this? Here it is. I'm sorry. And this is Eliza's YouTube. I didn't realize it until like last minute, but Eliza did an amazing job covering this. And what I'm about to say is in no slight to Eliza at all, honey. It is not. I didn't know that you had made this, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful, beautifully done. And I was,
So
with the information that I had, I would have made the same video. But what you're about to know now might change a little bit.
With law enforcement this morning, there are now no through traffic signs and roadblocks around our surrounding neighborhood. And anybody that does not live here or isn't visiting here is, I'm working with the prosecuting attorney. If you're coming here to harass my family or law enforcement or any of our neighbors, I will be pressing charges to the fullest extent.
As you should, because that is not the time to be messing with her and her family. It's not okay when you have the excavation going on at 1102 Red Wing. This is that day.
And that's a warning. No, it's not a warning, it's a promise. So you're coming here to be supportive and show kindness to the community. Okay. But you're not coming here to harass my family, and not right now. Not right now.
Brandi to speak to Hoof. BHB called police to find out charges on that Sarah person, and they told her he may
That is false.
speak to them about putting out information also. Wow.
That is false. That is false. That is not true. And I have a very close source that has seen the documents. That is not true.
Yeah, they're.
I don't know what documents she has seen. So she was saying that it's not true. Said person is arrested with the charges. It's not true. Remember that. She says, it's not true. I've seen the documents. Or somebody that I know has seen the documents. I'm guessing it's KT. I don't know. Y'all don't know who that is. Don't worry about it. But she said it's not true at this point. Now, this is, I think, around 10 or 11 o'clock, maybe. No, I think it was 1 p.m. Somewhere around there. Anywhere from like, I think 11 to 1 p.m. I can't remember exactly that this was going on. But it started in the morning, this drama. Anyway, the point is she didn't think that Sarah was arrested and that there was any charges for Michael at all.
Live right now saying all this stuff.
Oh, I got a message from somebody asking me.
Let's block it out. Let's block it out.
Yeah, I guess she
We're
did
gonna
call
handle
on her
this
live
differently.
and I got that recording. I haven't listened to it fully, but
Well, let's do that too.
it's her live. I don't know.
I mean, is it a legit
Yeah,
call?
guys, I'm about ready to I don't care about my channel. I'm about ready to just go over on my channel and play the damn whole thing.
Here, here's what.
I don't care if she strikes me. I don't want to mess with purple.
So there's Bullhorn Betty. So there's Bullhorn Betty calling in the jail about Sarah Wondra. Now, she doesn't know who is who. Sarah and Stacey. She's just trying to get out who got arrested. I don't know how or who tipped off Bullhorn. I can't remember. But anyway.
Said anything about this, but the reason what made us make this assumption is let's look at the facts, the actual facts of this, and see what you deduct. The actual facts of this are that J.D. Huffy, police chief of Brooklyn, Idaho, is coming for charges are for Stacey.
So this is supposedly her calling the police station.
Wow.
Yes, can you provide me what the current charges are for Stacey Wondra and Sarah Wondra?
Oh.
Okay, what's her charges? All right. Thank you very much.
So Bullhorn just got confirmation that it was failure to report a death of that was Sarah's charge. Remember that. And she's listening to this live, being told this.
So that's all it's on there.
I'm about to cry and then explode.
I can't breathe.
That's not JD.
No, it's Hoof is what they're saying. I don't know if there's an officer named Hoof.
No,
Huff, you
straight up not
dumbass.
Huff.
Can't stand her.
You guys, I gotta go. I gotta contact Fruitland Police Department because right there, that putting it out there, recording it online.
Yeah, that's bad.
All right, I'll be back.
Okay.
Love you. Bye.
Love you.
Okay, so she's got to call Fruitland and clear up putting this out online. So at first she says it's not true. It's all lies. It's all lies. Then she goes, I got to call Fruitland to put this out there like this. I got to call. Okay. Next.
Hey, Brandy.
So it's not a lie. The yard that they're digging up right now, the woman is being charged with not reporting the death of a child.
Oh, honey.
And thank you for putting that out on the internet before our family was informed, because they were trying to protect us and they're trying to make sure, because there's two people involved. They're trying to tie the case together. So thank you so much for putting that out there before they.
Awful. I remember that day. It was so bad. We were like, good Lord, what is going on? Right? Okay. Well, let's finish.
You could tell us. Thank you. You have no idea what you've done to our family right now. You have no idea. I woke up with hope this morning and praying.
Fucking
you just,
Betty. I'm so sorry.
You shouldn't have done that.
You are now seeing the face of a mother whose child's investigation has been damaged because of YouTube.
Shut up,
YouTube
Taylor, let it go.
If that ain't tragedy pimping on a mom, I don't know what is. And I'm not saying this creator at all. I'm saying the original. The original. The people you're listening to. How horrible to do that. Lockdown with April C. I remember that day the news actually dropped it first. You were absolutely right. You beat me to it. But yes, you were right. The news already had it. That's where I think BHB got it from. Now, we're going to get there, Locke. Hold on.
Oh,
Everybody mute, please.
That's why they're there. Yes, that it is public record, and yes, that I apologize that I said it was a lie. I called the captain, and they and it's the woman that is, yeah, it's true. You destroyed all hope we had until we had information, so thank you.
Whoa. That's brutal. Is your heart breaking? Yeah. Who wouldn't? You'd be an asshole. Right?
Yeah. What am I supposed to tell my kids? What am I supposed to tell my kids right now? Because their phones have not stopped blowing up.
Get off the live and not worry about it. Don't be on a live on a day like this. is what I would say as a friend on that panel. Get off of here. Somebody go help her. Get off of YouTube and be with them, is what I would have said. Okay. So, this is, let me pull up the right one. Sorry. That was horrible. Like, rip my heart out and stomp it, right? And anybody felt that. Everybody felt that way. So let me pull up the article. The right one, KTVB. It is the one with the interview. Which was also heartbreaking to watch. If anybody hadn't seen this, it is out there. You just Google it. He's out there. KTVB interview, Brandi-My. Hello, Hellcat. I'm not going to play it. KTVB likes to get strict happy. Strickety strike happy on me because Lawanda. Well, you know what? Actually, Lawanda doesn't have her connection dug in anymore over there. Ha 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 ha. How does it feel? Sorry. Ignore that. Again, blow this baby up. This is what confused me, though. You just heard what I played. This article jumped to February. So that video was from 11/12/2022. We're now in February 2nd of 2023. Right? And this is an interview that they did about how Brandi feels. What's the update? All that stuff. Please keep sharing his beautiful smile and beautiful face. So a week before, Neil picked up on the first ring to schedule an interview in order to keep Michael's face in the news. Things had gone quiet in the last few months. How are you? I'm upright. All of this goes on to, same thing that kind of always happens, just sharing his information. It's been over 500 days. He went missing, etc. It's not fair. You've watched us for the past 545 days. 545 days, and you haven't sent a damn word. We have to wait. Heartbreaking. So, right here, when I was reading this, Vaughan called Neil, who was at work, talking about the day that this Michael was abducted. Vaughan called Neil, who was at work. Neil sped home, and she saw police at the park when she pulled into the neighborhood. Well, guys, this is not what was originally said, actually. Matter of fact, I called Miss Duggan and had this corrected because that was not what was said at all. Let me pull up the original. All right. Get that out of the way because I just need to do this. I haven't done it. It's been on my noggin, One moment. One moment, please. Almost there. So, sorry about the wait. My apologies, y'all. So again, the updated version is Vaughan called Neil, who was at work. Neil sped home, and she saw the police at the park when she pulled into the neighborhood. The original was Vaughan called Neil, who was at work. She sped home, and the two began racing around the neighborhood to find him. She said, when they found no sign of their son, they called the police. I think I probably said excuse me to myself, and then jumped up and went straight to Twitter. And I'm serious when I say that, because it shocked me. It shocked me, really. And when I get shocked like that, gassy. And I said, whoa, Duggan, whoa. Hold the phone, ma'am. Publicly on Twitter. What do you mean? This is bad. This is really bad. Because half of the reason why my ass has been slandered so hard is because of that right there. Timeline that I've been trying so desperately to help find for Michael. Irrelevant to if it pisses anybody off. So wait, did you end up home first? Like we always thought? Who Twitter has always suggested because of what Brandi had said. And I'm not slighting you, honey. I'm just saying this is the truth. And then I have to call Duggan or message Duggan on Twitter to say, what's up? Was it before or after? Before or after? Did she come home to a police presence, or did she help Tyler look? This is what we have been literally going round and round and round and round and round and round for a year. And then it was almost like the trauma came back from that, from the threats. After threat, after threat, after threat. So then I have the receipts to prove this, y'all. I really do. Again, I am not telling you that this means anything in a sense of Michael's case and who's involved in what. Please do not take this way. There's Alex. Alexander Duggan from KTVB at the time. We're talking. So here's 12/5/21. This is an article from December 5th of 2021 stating the same thing that I had just said was the discrepancy. Then you have a whole complete change on 2/22/23. There should not be a discrepancy at this point. There should be very clear information to an article, to a news station who has habitually spoken to her. I sincerely was blaming Duggan for not getting this shit correct. And I had to ask her what's going on. I'm not trying to be rude here, but this is important. So which is it? Because this isn't fair. She says, well, it's also, it's worth noting trauma brain is real and it does suck. Trauma brain makes you loony boony. We've heard Brandi say that, and that's true. Typically, trauma makes you not forget, though, but Mr. Eve can attest for that in a sense of being a veteran. Thank you for your service again, Mr. Eve. But the family called the police, says Alex. I don't think this is a change in reporting. Brandi sometimes spoke to us in generality, so I don't think it means anything. If it matters, I can go in and correct that to reflect the prior reporting. I'm looking at this like, You need to correct the prior reporting. No, get the truth, get the facts. What are you talking about? I just want you to report what's true, because you're about to make her life living hell for Brandi. You're about to make her life a living hell again after all the Twitter bullshit. Excuse my language, y'all, but this one heats me up. You need to fix it. You're a journalist and the only one that can cover his case. Everybody else gets blips at this point. So when I proved it to her, what I just proved to you, she had to contact Brandi and clear it up, which I was grateful for. And I actually saved her a lot of grief, because that was going to be horrible. But now that it's over with, and we want to talk about drama, I might as well. So I had to ask her, did you ask Brandi to clarify? This is my proof, just showing you that I did that. And then she did. And then once she spoke to her, she said, yes. Brandi says, my apologies. It is, in fact, not. I went home, then called the police with Tyler. The truth is, she came home to a full-blown search or full-blown craziness. Okay? Those are big differences, and this is the shit that we have been dealing with.
Getting started with Pell is easy.
Sorry, KTVB is riddled with ads, and it's stupid. So anyway, back to the point. I just had to do that because I was here and it was on my mind. So when news broke that there was an excavation, she states that she didn't know there was an arrest and that nobody was arrested yet. Da-da-dee-dee-dee. And then in this article, that's not necessarily true per this article. So potentially, now we're back at 11 in November. The excavation's happening. It came on a brisk day. You know what? I actually have this too. Read it for me. Mr. Eve, if you're out there, hang in there, honey. I'm trying. Oh, hell, it's faster just to read it. It came on a brisk day in mid-November of last year, a break in the case. Police arrived at the Vaughan family home that morning. Neil expected it was like any other visit. The police pay the family to check in with them. But when Neil saw the chief of police walk in the door, J.D. Huff walks in the door. She said her stomach sank. They spoke calmly when they told her an arrest has been made. Police said to stay inside the home and hunker down. Police told her they received a credible tip that Michael's remains could be in the backyard nearby, and they were going to excavate every single inch. Huff later told reporters on scene that they continued to search for Michael's remains, marking the very first time that the media learned he may no longer be alive. A 2-minute drive from the family home, just diagonal across from the farm field that was searched so many times, lived Sarah and Stacey Wondra. Now, can anybody in the chat, quiz time, tell me if Sarah and Stacey Wondra was ever heard of prior to this from the family? Put a 1 in the chat if they had never, ever heard of that name before that day. Put a 2 in the chat if you know better. I will wait. I really, really sincerely need to know how many people did what they think, because it gives a good count on what people actually know about the case. This is an important question, and I'm not trying to be rude. Happy Hippie says 1. Thank you for being honest. Brooke, 1. And I even told you.
It came on a brisk day in mid-November of last year.
Now it wants to work. Sorry, it was really loud. I apologize. So did you just see my point? My point is that when you're reading the articles and you're listening to what is being said online, they're always, almost always, either there's a big discrepancy, which causes the chaos, which causes the reason for speculation, just on the articles versus what is said online alone. I'm not blaming one or the other. I'm just saying the truth. So, of course, people are going to go, now, hold on, wait a minute, especially people like me who are like, which one is it? This is a child's case. What are you doing? Which one is it? Do y'all know what you're doing? And I was harsh. And the ironic thing is I got a message from this journalist who said, I can't, I'm sorry. I can't keep up. It's very hard and confusing because I'm reporting what I've been told. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. I just don't want it to be false. I want the truth. We all want the truth. Why is it so hard? This is not hard. But watching that heartbreaking video of her being told by a news from Bullhorn Betty that there was an arrest, when this article says J.D. Huff told her, it kind of makes you go, okay, what panel were you on? Let's look at that. Does anybody know what panel that was? I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the pigeons. Bert Phoenix, maybe? Could you explain the discrepancy here for us? Because that is big to me. Did y'all know she knew? Did y'all not? It's really shitty of you, pigeons, to tragedy pimp Brandi Neal when this is really about Michael Vaughan at the end of all of it, who is being looked for in a backyard. And there's an arrest made. But you wanted to go after Bull. Which I don't, look, I get it. But if you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know the full information, this is why you ask questions first. Because now you're looking foolish. Now you're looking real foolish and being the actual tragedy pimps that you blame everybody else for. And you're not even a legit channel. You're not even legit. You can't even get the facts straight. You don't even know why you said what you said the other day. What was it? Smuggling drugs into the prison? You don't even know why you said that and couldn't remember that you said that. But you are advocating for a child who is missing. Shame on you. Shame on you. And shame on everybody else who doesn't do a little bit of digging first just to make sure things are what they are. This is why children aren't found. Muddling cases with bullshit. But this is not what that is. This is important stuff. This is something you should hear about. Because it doesn't have to be dramatic, but now it has to be. It didn't have to be at first, but now it has to be to get your fucking attention. Excuse my language, I'm so sorry. But I am pissed. Because I have spent so many hours upon hours upon hours missing family, missing everything. Trying to protect my babies by learning through this and through Summer's case and Oakley's case and Cody's case. And nobody bats an eye, but boy, Daisy goes after Brandi or Brandi goes after Daisy and Don Wells, and you are right there eating it up, aren't you? And if this hurts your feelings, you're guilty of it, I'm sorry, but that's the truth. And I gotta be accountable. You gotta be accountable, because that's what this is. Horsewoman says, are you saying the cop told Brandi they were digging for remains and BHB was same day? What I'm saying is, sorry if I wasn't clear because sometimes I just get so mad. What I'm saying is that this article is repeating what they got from the mother. And she was told J.D. Huff already had spoken to her about not only the excavation that morning, but also that an arrest has been made. They spoke calmly when they told her an arrest has been made. Police said to stay inside the home and hunker down. Well, not only does she not hunker down, she goes outside and gets on Purple fucking Phoenix and says, thank you, Bullhorn Betty, for ruining the ability to tell my family when I thought they already knew per this article. I don't know the truth. I assume this article, this KTVB article, the news article, is telling me the truth. But we just saw the inconsistencies that I had to call the journalist out on, who is directed a lot by the PR of who? The Michael Vaughan case, Lawanda Westbrook. That's a whole nother drama that y'all don't even know about from the beginning either. So do you understand now? Do you understand? That beautiful video that Eliza did, probably not knowing this, right? Of course you're going to be like, Jesus, Lord, my heart is, fuck you, Bullhorn. I'm going to eat you for breakfast, as you should. But if you didn't know any better, but I do. Many do. I just had the balls to say it. Do you see why I am so hated, Matthew? If Matthew's in the chat, do you see why I'm so hated? Does anybody understand that? I'm so sorry if I didn't get that through properly. This is painful for me. To never know where I really stand. And have to be cruel sometimes to get the point across. Because drama, tragedy, pimp channels that have taken over don't want to cover it. Or are told not to cover these things. Don't speculate. Don't take the drama and run with it. And I have been screaming and screaming to everybody, please, if there's drama afoot, it's because there's a reason. If there is drama in the Michael Vaughan case that's not directly about me, quote unquote, bashing or attacking the family, you need to be looking more. You need to be digging in more. And every time I show it, it's like, who cares? Because Don Wells. Have you seen Don? Have you seen Candace? Have you seen the people that they are supported by? Pfft. That's what matters. That's how we're going to get justice for these babies, by ignoring receipts or ignoring different opinions. Do you see what I am trying to now say? I'm really, really sad and sorry if I didn't make it clear. because I really am just trying to get that baby boy home. Whatever happened to him, it breaks my heart. I've bawled and squalled enough. I've tried my best, try to get a search up. Let's pull up what Lawanda Westbrook said when a search was trying. Lawanda Westbrook is like the Tim Mullins of the group. She's done some good things, I won't lie. She's done some horrible things. Horrible things. To anybody that asks questions, let alone, had something ill to say, I guess. So let's pull that shit up. And then I'm going to call it because poor Mr. Eve is probably hanging on for dear life over there. The babies are in good hands, I promise. One moment. Oh, here's her exposing criminal backgrounds in the name of having feelings. Still illegal. Here's proof that there was violations found of the PR of the family for hateful conduct. What did she say? I'm going to start a YouTube channel spilling the tea on all these fake ass creators. So that you can find Lawanda camping in different chats sometimes, but you can also see her on panel in Purple Phoenix and Crime Lines and Lies and others around same creators I just mentioned. Take her pick. Cash App for the family, that's fine. Violating Lawanda. Oh yeah, I remember that. Abuse and harassment. I remember that. I do. Happened a few times. This was the original hate. I hope every creator that ever gave harsh, who had done excellent coverage on Michael and had to stop because they striked his channel in every video, 70 times, and he was afraid that his channel was going to be taken down completely because he covered other cases. That's the reality of that one. I didn't know if anybody knew that. That was the reality of what happened to Harsh. Harsh wasn't being too harsh, even though it might seem that way. They struck his videos for using, guess what? Guess what? For using Michael's photo in the video and or in the thumbnail. You heard me right. You heard me right. 70 plus videos stricken on Harsh's channel about Michael because Michael's photo was in the thumbnail and he monetizes his videos. I don't. So that's why I got away with it and still do, I guess. But I was told to never share anything about Michael ever again. I wish everyone checked sources in the manner that Michelle does, which I'm not even going to get into that. No hate to her right now. Although she did get a lot of shit wrong. And stole a timeline. What was I going on about? I'm sorry. Maybe I was still reeling about this same person and her crony CJ that apparently Brandi hated. Was blaming me about sniffing coke because I have allergies on a live. Then a bingo card about crying about Equisearch, gets drunk live, griff, sniffs, toddler even diapers. Yeah, that's my son that they were talking about. They have a bingo card about my lives. Misinformation. It's not fair, y'all. Crystal, Jewel, Tyler, Eve. Wipes nose because I'm a cokehead. Yeah, this is the PR rep. And y'all are mad about Tim Mullen? Tim Mullen ain't nothing if you read this stuff. This is just the iceberg, honey. Y'all didn't know? Y'all didn't know this? Well, I'm a tragedy pimp, because I took advantage of everyone reeling about this situation with Daisy to grab your attention long enough to say Michael's case is not being heard the way it should. And if you knew what I knew and actually listened to what I have been saying, and many have been saying, you would be outraged that it took this long. Be outraged. You'd be just as pissed off as I am. So the search, that's what I was doing. Sorry. I get so ramped up. I don't know why. Well, this is Lawanda thanking EchoSearch for getting rid of me when they emailed them for spreading misinformation. And really, at the end of the day, they just said, we don't want to deal with the drama, so we got to let you go. Had nothing to do with what they sent them, except for covering any cases. She doesn't want other people found who have trained for it. But she's going to cover Michael Vaughan's case. Make that make sense. Right? So there's an organized search, right? As I was saying. There was an organized search from the original drama, Nicole, Susie Goosey, who had to back away from it because of this shit going on. So this was getting organized. They were trying to get people to sponsor this organized search to get more searches because nothing was being done. That day, 5/6/2022, ironically, somebody got arrested over at 1102. Anyway, Lana down there says sponsors, big companies to help. Thought y'all were doing this all for free. Talking about goals and whatnot around the campfire. Should I bring the s'mores? What a bitch. What a grade A bitch. This is what started the real reason for the EchoSearch drama with me. This is the real reason right here. Are you scared of a search? So why wouldn't this make you suspicious? These things. And this is far from just an isolated incident. This happened habitually. Habitually. But see, nobody was on Twitter because you're on YouTube with Summer Wells. You don't know what's going on. You don't want to know. Right? There was one time, I'm just going to leave this up here and you can read it. This was another creator not too happy with me. I'm going to take a 2-minute break real quick. 2 minutes to get some water. I'll be right back. And then I swear I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you for letting me get that drink. It worked up. I get thirsty from all the Coke or something. I think that's what it said on there. Sniff, sniff, right? Yeah, that's what happened on that one. Hateful ass. Hateful ass. Lawanda also, I don't know if anybody heard about the JLR interview with, what was it, the drone operator who was helping law enforcement with a drone. Yeah, his drone got shot down over a field on the Ontario side of the river. And she went, good, I would have too. Whoa. There's a video on it if you want to go search. I was like, the fuck? Those are fighting words. I would be throwing hands. Poor guy. Somebody shot down his $25,000 drone and law enforcement was like, sorry, we got an investigation to do. We can't worry about this after a year. And she said, I would have shot it down too. She did. She did. She admits to airing criminal backgrounds out of spite. Tim Mullen is a sissy lala. Sissy lala. It's harmful. It's hurtful. There's a lovely lady who was researching, more so doing social media outreach for Michael, and she did a great job. And these horrific people took her picture. They took her picture and tried to manipulate it to look like Planet of the Apes character. It doesn't matter what links they had to go to get this photo. But this photo was because this person had been going through cancer treatments. Or her daughter, excuse me. There was a lot of makeup on this person because of the things that were going on. Not that I should have to say this, and it breaks my heart every time I have to say this. But they put a picture of Planet of the Apes against her picture and said, Twitter is on a roll today. You guys stop sending me this. I'm so dead. Someone take the filter away from Grandma. Speaking on this beautiful lady who did not deserve this kind of a treatment. And the rage I had for this is beyond compare. And they thought that was funny. This is Lawanda Westbrook. It was it's tough one. CPS threatening harshest kids with CPS calls in the UK. Remember that one? Is this dramatic? I didn't know if this was dramatic enough. Do I need to be more dramatic? How do they do it over there? I'm familiar, but I don't know how to act it out. So maybe you could understand when I see the drama that's going on. It's stupid. That's what's more important than Michael and Summer and any missing child. This is what we're talking about. Enough. And this is why when they speak about drama in the YouTube streets and being attacked, Brandi being attacked, it's very easy for them to say Daisy or other creator like, I don't know, Frank off of the Perps channel when Frank got sassy with Brandi. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but if you don't, it doesn't matter. Frank was so mean to Brandi. And he kind of was. I mean, he was kind of an ass, but that's what's important. But they don't say my name anymore, do they? You don't hear Eve, unless it's in the chat. You don't hear Eve anymore. You know why? Because they're afraid. Because they know I bring the receipts, as you see, every single time. So, can we just stop fighting? Can I have an opinion, please? Can I stop being treated like a criminal for having an opinion, please? I think I have earned my stripes. I have earned my bashings. I have earned the right to say enough. Creators. And if you dare think that you, Tiffany Marie, are going to use anything to try to get at your pocketbook on the back of Michael through Brandi, I'm coming after you and your channel. Do not try me. That is not okay. We are not here for that anymore. That's a done deal. So, enough with the daisy. Enough with the clutching of the pearls. Enough. Grow up. This is a missing child's case. What is wrong with the world? They deserve better than this. I don't want to have to go over this stuff anymore, but I will. So can the drama please subside and let's get back on track here? Or do we need another round? I can keep going. I almost feel like the mama bear of true crime. Spank your little fannies for acting out and being crazy, acting like a bunch of thugs. Stop. Go sit in the corner and think about what you've done. And advocate for these kids. All right, guys. Stacey Wondra is out right now, roaming the streets. Nobody go after said person. But it is alarming and you need to know about it. You need to know that's the reality. And we need to find out what's really going on here. Because it's not right. Something is amiss. But we can do it just through speculation and what we know to be true. So let's do that. Let's get back to the good days. When you can have an opinion and have receipts and not be bashed for it. All right? Much love to you guys. You know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies. Let's get these babies the right justice. And I will see you on the next live. Much love to you. And thank you, veterans, for serving our country.
Hey, welcome in. You're here with your DJ X.